Come on, OBS, you can do it. I have faith in you.
Yep.
Tabletop things are happening.
Druttercup things are happening. All things Druttercup. Sounds like the worst shop in the mall ever. Right. I can hear typing. My desktop audio can hear typing.
Yeah, because despite the fact that you are now live, the Raiden host dialogue on Twitch is still refusing to let me host you. I'm actually just going to have to type it into chat because that dialogue doesn't think you're live.
You're going to have to type it into chat like some kind of barbarian.
They've given me
Yeah, I know.
a dialogue
I
for
know.
selecting channels to host. I would like it if that would let me select a channel to host.
I know.
Maybe I'm asking too much of it.
See, I'm possibly a little too far out left field. I hadn't even known that was there until you started talking about it. Because I'm always doing the chat thing.
When it appeared, it was when they rejigged the dashboard. It's just the quickest way to get into my chat to type host is generally to open the dashboard because I've got that linked, whereas I haven't got a link to my actual channel. And you can type in chat from there anyway. I thought, well, there's a dialogue there, isn't there, that says host, shows who you're hosting at the moment and lets you look for someone to host.
Himfishy is now hosting you. That's lovely.
But apparently not people who you actually know who are currently online.
I know,
only
radical
people
concept.
you've never heard of. Of course,
Right.
Glancing across at the other monitor, I have Chatty open with my screen, because it's always open if I've got Chatty open. So I could have just typed it in that as well. That would have worked.
You could have done.
You could. You didn't, but you could.
It's been a week.
It's been a fortnight, Fish.
I don't mean since something, I just mean that this week.
Oh,
has
it's been a week.
A week.
Yes.
Capital A, capital W, probably in italics.
Yeah, I have one of those as well.
Yes.
There's a lot of it around.
I had one of those yesterday. I didn't get home until 1:30 this morning.
Yesterday,
yeah. It's got 1:30.
If you had a whole week yesterday, the people you were actually watching must have had at least a fortnight.
No.
But I didn't watch the whole stream, but I watched a lot of it, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're a good bunch.
Yes, a lot of it went very, very well indeed. And where it went sideways, it was unavoidably sideways. And only slightly. Things like one of the guys who was supposed to be involved, unfortunately, having the temerity to need major surgery.
To be horribly ill.
Yeah, yeah.
Was that the guy that you said was missing, Fishy? James or something?
No.
James,
Robert
that I referenced at one point, James was in the first series of Rusty Quill Gaming. I think he was in the second series of Rusty Quill Gaming. I don't remember where he left. Partway through series 2, I think.
I think so.
He had to pull out because he was messing their recording schedules too much because he had recently become a father. Having to schedule around that, and he just couldn't keep doing it, which is a real shame. He's James Ross. He is a very talented comedian. I've never seen him just being him, apart from a couple of clips on YouTube. If I ever get the chance, I will have to do so, though, because he definitely is a very good man based on Rusty Quill Gaming. So I really would have liked to see him there for some of that stream.
Yes, I can see that. Because he is
so the general consensus seems to be that Tim Meredith was the new James Ross.
You don't sound convinced.
I can see that.
I quite liked him, actually. I didn't know Tim Meredith. He's the brother of one of the other regulars.
The one with the really bizarre moustache.
I thought Tim was one of the other guys. Whoops.
No. There was the trouble.
Okay, Ben was the one with the interesting facial arrangement.
Yes.
Oh, that was Ben, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and Tim was his brother, who was one of the other guys.
Yeah.
Tim was the guy that did the French accent as having a sexy accent when playing the millionaire banshee.
And then kept going on, date me, brother.
Yes.
Yes.
I did enjoy watching Millionaire Banshee.
Yeah, that looks like it's got potential.
I didn't really get to see that. I was in chat for a little bit of that, but I was in chat in the break room at work with my phone turned down quite low, trying to piece together what
the hell was going on.
Yeah, I didn't do very well on that, really.
Yes, I can see that.
I can believe that.
Yeah.
I did enjoy, as Drup mentioned in Discord, I did enjoy Celestia, was it
Yeah.
called?
Yeah.
That they played towards the end of board game, which looks rather interesting, and apparently is on Board Game Arena.
Yeah,
So
I had to poke at it,
the
and is only
multiplayer sometime.
yeah, and is only $21.99 on Amazon, which for a board game actually
These
is
days is not a lot. Yeah.
As
Especially
opposed
one
to
that has a funky wooden airship in it.
yes, with the propeller that kept falling off.
Well, these things always happen. Although we could fake up one of those anyway, because we've got Forbidden Desert, which also has a funky plastic airship in it. That because the point of Forbidden Desert is that you have to find all the components to build the airship and escape. So therefore, it's got the airship
in bits, presumably.
dismantlable form. So we could make that up. We just wouldn't have all the components like the dice and the cards.
Yeah. Right. So, oh god, I haven't got the rules up
Anyway,
there. It's not going to help.
Meanwhile, at the game we're actually playing.
Meanwhile, at the game we're actually playing. Yes. You see, this is the advantage of being able to chop off the.
Damn it! I should have been wearing my sunglasses so that I could dramatically take them off as we enter CSI Galasweyn episode 7.
Right, the bookmarked PDF. Episode 8, I believe.
It is 8, isn't it?
I haven't labelled it 8 because I suddenly glitched on whether that was the one that didn't happen last week or one that had already happened.
That's very wise.
Yeah.
I made that mistake in Swords of Slaughterdeep. One of the episodes had to change title when it got as far as YouTube because I realised that I'd got 2 episode 7s or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did that with Crimson Skies as well. It's easily done.
It is easily done, yeah.
Right.
Basically, when your players are irritating and the game runs on for far longer than it's supposed to because they don't quite go the way you want them to.
Yeah.
Though we wouldn't know anything about that because that doesn't happen in any hint game.
Not at all. Not at all.
Absolutely bang on, straight down the line, on target at all times.
Fish, could you sit back a bit further from your camera because I'm concerned that your nose is going to impact it when it just completely extends about a foot in front of you.
And hello.
Hello, Mecky.
Hey, Mecky.
Welcome to a stream where you... Yes, he rolled a 2. Exactly. That's what happened. Oh, don't insult our only regular. Come on, play nice. Okay.
Previously on CSI
Galasweyn. Yeah, we have this actually written on paper, you know, like a savage. It's amazing what you try and do while staying awake.
So much better if you'd been ready to read it to him.
Shut up. Right.
Before you do that, I've got to season 2 of Andromeda on my rewatch of Andromeda. I'd forgotten they changed the intro for season 2. They didn't have the one read by Kevin Sorbo. They had traditional American television series voice man doing it instead, and it sounds terrible. It really does.
Mecky, that sounds like an excellent idea. I wonder if we can get soya whipped cream.
Yes, but it's really hard to hold up.
Recommends a safety tip for how to detect fishies lying.
Did you know that in adverts they use shaving foam instead of whipped cream?
It's depressing, isn't it? It's the ice cream one that got me. Basically, glue and polyfiller. It's just no. Just because it looks right and doesn't melt, I don't care.
And they put washing up liquid in the bottom of a beer glass when you see the beer all frothy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So depressing.
It's the fact that a lot of those advertising techniques, of course, are legal in the States. Over here, there's that fine line where advertising standards will say, excuse me. They can get away with it to a point.
Yeah. If an item is representative of the product rather than actually supposed to be the product, then you're reasonably okay. But, you know, if you're looking at it saying, look how lovely this is, and it's not the thing you're advertising, then the ASA kind of get a bit annoyed.
They do, yeah.
Yep. So, Dagrid has now all but surrendered his persona to the Tamriath. Is it Tamriath or Tamriath? Let me get the pronunciation.
Tamray.
Tamray. Okay, close enough.
As opposed to Tamriel if you're playing ESO.
Yeah, I know, this is the
which
problem.
is where the confusion came in.
Yeah, I keep
hadn't
drifting.
Made that. Yeah, I hadn't made that jump when I named him.
Yeah, I keep drifting in that direction, so I apologise if I do so.
If the Eddingses ever write a book series about him, it'll presumably be the Tamriliad.
Oh my word!
That's the way they name things. They've read too much Greek.
Yes, I can't deny. Oh dear, I do look like I've got my UFO wig on at the moment. Oh dear. Okay.
No, you don't.
It's not purple.
Aside from that, right. Basically, what happened last session was Dagrid, in his Tamray persona, arranging a ninja raid by 2 prostitutes and a madam.
It seemed like a good idea at the time. What can I say?
Who, to be fair, are the local department chief for Nilfgaardian intelligence,
yes,
and 2 of her agents.
Yeah.
Sounds like a really interesting round of braggarts to me. I was on a ninja raid with 2 prostitutes and a man.
Who are actually part of the Nilfgaardian Corvox team.
Yep. So basically, you told her that the missing agent Kate was in the basement at Mama Lara's house, and you essentially, hello, Davka Sirens. You essentially let her loose.
Pop out Nightlight's thing.
Yep, I have.
See that as well.
Led her loose on their basement. Gave her the location of the rear entrance. No comments. And let her head off to do the rescue.
Yes, indeed.
At the same point, you opted to then take yourself off on a little stroll and ended up at the house of Delgrin,
yes,
the merchant who you knew needed repairs to his home,
yes,
and about whom you have heard stories
yes,
of a dark and slightly slimy nature regarding his relationship with the very pretty nurse who cared for his now mysteriously dead wife, who turned up as Drown the Chow. Various people have mentioned this.
They have.
In context
copious notes.
In context of the local town scandal. No one's actually said anything that he clearly had her offed, but it's all,
it's all been implied.
It's all been implied. We know how gossip works.
Yes.
So this was your first sight of the gentleman in question.
Indeed.
Who turned out to be a fairly sad man who has worked his way up from the bottom to build up a import-export business specialising in alcohol, and has moved out to a place in the country because he always wanted a big place in the country, and had the misfortune to do so just as an invading army was rolling through.
Well, that's how he could afford it, because the prices dropped. People knew in advance about the invading army, and unlike him, and he thought, oh, that's good, look, the prices there are much better, I'll buy somewhere there. And then the moment he got it, of course, and it was too late, in rolls the invading army.
So yes, he came to town with his wealthy newish wife, with plans to rebuild and refurbish the house they had bought together, and carry on with his business. And unfortunately, things went a bit sideways when she died, and he is now in a position where he's trying to make the best of things and is supplying all comers with their various booze needs. This does include the Privates Club. He's a pragmatic sort of man.
Can I just say that when you said his plan was to carry on with his merchanting business, I immediately got Carry On Merchanting showing Kenneth Williams as Geralt in my head.
Oh my word.
Oh boy. Gonna be one of them.
Frankly.
So
Sid James as Dandelion.
I would go with Frankie Howard, but Sid James would work.
Oh,
Sid James is probably a better choice, which is why I went somewhere else.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
And apologies to anyone who's never seen a Carry On film and has no idea what the hell we're talking about.
So
But to anyone who's never seen a Carry On film and has no
Change
idea what
it.
we're talking about, where have you been?
watch
In other
Carry,
countries, probably.
watch Carry On Screaming and you will learn
It's
all
one of
you
our
need to
biggest
know.
exports.
Or Carry On Up the Khyber.
Good point.
But then they are pretty much the two best.
Yeah, I mean, Fenella Fielding swings Screaming for me, but that's just me.
Yes, that is a very good point, yes.
Can't argue with that.
Very popular with young gentlemen of a certain age as well, I gather.
Meanwhile, back at the plot.
Sorry,
Dun, dun,
No,
dun,
it's my fault. I
dun.
derailed it.
you did, yes. Into a ditch. So, your overall impression, I believe, was that Delgwyn certainly seems to be a fairly civilised chap.
Yes.
And judging by his reaction to the yes, very pretty maid, former nurse, who came to inform him that his bath was ready, he didn't appear to have any overt interest in her.
No.
He did have a black framed picture of his wife prominently displayed in his parlour, his visitor's parlour. And the practical upshot of your conversation was that he took a reasonable shine to you. You seem to be a fairly civilised chap. And he's invited you to the Wake Come event he was hosting for the day after tomorrow.
Yes, indeed. And it was a +1 for myself and my... I've forgotten the word.
I believe valet was used.
Yes.
I think you were going for servant.
Yes.
So you encountered Delgwyn, you encountered his maid, and you also
And the butler.
met the butler, Samuel, who turned out to be native Nilfgaardian and
Yes.
preternaturally good at his job.
See, when you say words like preternaturally, I worry and think back to games of Vampire the Masquerade.
Yeah.
Or Call of Cthulhu.
Yep.
Oh, Call of Cthulhu. Yes. Oh boy.
Upon investigating the family, we determined that they were not cultists. However, they had been served by the same butler for 327 years, with our best reckoning.
Yeah.
We believe something suspicious is going.
Yes. To be fair, that's not actually a million miles off. Apart from the was not cultists.
Well, yeah, they were cultists.
Yeah. But the butler was actually head cultist at the time, so never mind.
The butler did it. Everyone knows the butler always did it.
Yeah. It's just everybody ignored that because the butler always did it, so they would assumed
Yeah,
he
it
didn't.
was just too obvious, so we assumed it wouldn't be. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
There's a cunning double bluff.
So, the other piece of information that you gleaned from this conversation was that Baron Kelsis, who runs the City Watch, Town Watch, and has set himself up as the lord of the area, in absence of anyone else, left the north under a cloud involving the death of several employees from his various private entertainment establishments, whose bodies turned up in the sewers.
Which sounds very similar to how poor Delgrim's missus went. Just instead of sewers, substitute river.
Potentially.
And then there's the handy presence of drowners to finish the job and make it look like a drowner attack generally.
Yes. When Delgrin came down to Galasweyn, he had no idea this was where Kelsis had ended up running to. But that would have been in Vizima initially. He didn't leave on the cloud not being the Monkey King. Yes, you haven't met Kelsis yet.
I have.
No, I think you've met his head of staff. I don't think you've
Oh
actually
yeah,
met
he's
him.
head of staff. I bet, and stole
Yeah.
the room up and then gave it back, saying, "I can do all this
Yeah,
really cool shit. Let me have a job."
Yes, you haven't. Yeah, you haven't actually met him yet. So, that was the course of your evening. So you left with a nice man thinking you're somebody else, and having handed you an invitation.
Not necessarily thinking I'm somebody else, just not having quite the full perception of who I actually am.
Exactly. Which means thinking you're somebody else, but that's done in a nicer way.
Potato, potato.
So, you were then headed back to the Privates Club.
Yes.
For an evening of Gwent and
Schmoozing.
schmoozing. That's one way of putting it. So, hey, Miss
I believe the modern term is networking.
In the North End, schmoozing. Can you one on me?
You can't schmooze. You're not allowed to schmooze. You're working.
I thought that was the noise cows made.
Shh.
Only after they've had too many schnapps.
Schmooze. Yeah, I'll give it that one.
You're not helping. You're really not helping.
What do you think we're trying?
We're very trying, but that's the problem.
Well, there's that, yeah.
Why is everybody's possible equipment includes a Gwent deck?
Because they're really,
Gwent.
really useful for impromptu gambling and getting information out of people.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
Same reason why there was a point where every single wizard in D&D had a pipe. Ironically, this was years before the Lord of the Rings movies came out. But, round about the turn of first to second edition, it seemed like wizards just automatically had a pipe.
Yeah, apparently wizards were all hooked on tobacco.
Although at that point there was an even bigger crowd than the one that exists now, convinced that it wasn't tobacco.
Mm.
Of which I'm annoyed to discover that Peter Jackson is a member. But there you go.
I just find it hard to believe that, you can smoke that much weed and still do magic.
Given what J.R.R. Tolkien was like, and the fact that I'm not sure he was even aware of the existence of weed, seems unlikely that he would have written it into his books.
I'm just thinking he puts a very different cast on Aragorn kicking back at the ruins.
Yeah.
After meeting up with the hobbits again, because he then went off to have a fight. I mean, come on. Surely he'd just be way too chilled out.
Yeah, which would be the opposite of that. Oh God, I forgot his name.
Waiting.
The butt of all their jokes in QI.
Oh, Alan Davis.
Alan Davis, yeah, that Alan Davis line on his stand-up. So yeah, you've never seen anybody finish shall we say, an illicit cigarette. You go, right.
Let's go have a fight.
You just don't see that.
No. I'll take your word for
Allegedly.
it. Yes. No, actually,
It's a very
genuinely
funny
not
piece of stand-up.
interesting.
I mean, I disagree with his views on that particular substance, but it is a very funny piece of stand-up.
Fair enough. Okay. So, back at the Privates Club, things are warming up.
It's rather chilly this time of year.
Yeah. Amazingly, there are fires burning, and people are clustering round them, and there are enough in the building, although bear in mind the building is made of wood, so health and safety.
They have to keep the building warm to some degree, given how little they give the girls to wear.
Exactly. The other reason it's heating
Otherwise, some of their assets are frozen and not by the corpse.
Yes.
We get back to last week's phrase of, it's a bit nipply out.
Yes. The young ladies and gentlemen of the establishment are dancing, performing some fairly acrobatic, although it's relatively early for the night, so they're not getting completely into the swing of things yet. To the appreciative glances of soldiers who are at the moment window shopping and have yet to decide which to purchase or rent. But
Which might be very expensive.
are allowing the course of decent wine and cheapish beer to make their decision for them.
Poring over a shared copy of the latest issue of What Courtesan.
That needs to
Seeing
happen.
how things review.
I love that. Oh, by the way, I am definitely being on brand today. Unfortunately, my camera is too high.
Yes.
Cool.
Good dressing up shirt.
Yeah,
Yes.
I sadly am not. I went looking for my Winders and Witches and Dice Oh My t-shirt and found that I'd put it in the wash.
Oops.
Probably a good thing.
Yes.
Yes. So, there is a familiar bartender serving drinks, smiling at the girls, and attempting badinage
He
with
can't
his
possibly be
clientele.
attempting badinage. He doesn't know what it means.
Hey, I saw what you're putting on the what you put in the out of character conversation. Therefore, you're attempting badinage.
Okay.
So,
For those of us that don't know what badinage is,
it's the probably charisma skill.
Yes, probably the charisma skill.
Charisma skill or social etiquette. Depends on your approach.
At which I get a +1 if it's charisma, and they are humans that I'm talking to.
They
Things
are
that
all
I've
humans,
ignored
yes.
and forgotten about for the entirety of the game so far.
Shut up. But yes, fortunately it's only been human on human for the most part, so nobody's been overtly penalised.
You should avoid phrases like that when talking about The Witcher.
Yeah, I should. I really...
it's almost like the witch has got a reputation for this kind of stuff.
It's nookie a go-go, yes.
Oh my word.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, hello. No, go for what? You didn't install earlier. You don't get to say I need to restart now. Sod off. Oh,
I'm not
Acrobat,
even going to ask.
Acrobat had a failed install sat in the background. It's decided finally to complete, but it's the I would like to restart. You cannot.
Not while I'm live, god damn it. No, not like this.
Right.
Restart, Narcissus. We want it.
There's a friend of mine sent me a link to that earlier on today. I couldn't resist sharing that.
No, that was very good. So, to me,
Right.
the chap from the BBC radio series is still the definitive Gollum.
Oh yes. Is it Peter Woodthorpe or Peter Woodford?
Woodthorpe, I believe.
Yeah.
So his Gollum does sound a little bit like Fagin.
It does a bit. But everybody else's Gollum sounds like his. So,
Well, yeah.
including Andy Serkis's.
Including to some degree Andy Serkis's, yeah.
Yeah.
He's put his own spin on it very much, but you can...
I did like Andy Serkis's Gollum.
Yeah. He was
yeah,
very good.
I like
Yes.
Andy Serkis. He's a very good actor, and he does a good job.
Yeah. This chap was just awesome and was in the animated film as well. That's how he got the BBC role, if I recall correctly.
God,
Or was
yes.
it the
One
other
way,
way
I can't
round?
remember which way round it was, but it was one way
see
round,
that
yeah.
it is.
They liked him and going with the other one.
No, but it's got the same Gollum. So unfortunately, that's now reinforced in my head as that's the right Gollum.
Yeah,
And Circus is good, but yeah,
but he's not that guy, yeah.
he's not that guy.
Somewhere I've lost my copy of the animated one. Which is a pity. I had that on DVD. It came in a weird, funky little box, but
Yes, the flip open.
yeah, flip open.
Yes. I know exactly which edition you've got because it's sat over there. And I can see it from here. So, Fishy, that
yes.
charisma.
Do you want me to actually roll it?
Yes.
Well, it is a role-playing game.
Yes, that's true.
I've got my supervillain hands going. I'm not quite sure.
I can see that. Yeah.
Actually, I'm cold and I haven't got
Excellent.
my fingerless gloves within reach.
Charisma against humans gives
Yep.
me a total of 10 plus the die roll,
Okay.
giving me a 15 in this instance.
Yep. Okay. That's it's not wildly challenging, but that will certainly suffice for this. So yes,
Point.
first fishy roll of the evening, and it's a halfway decent one, so expect disaster. So, yep, you're working the bar crowd. Not spectacularly, but well.
Yeah, just doing his thing.
Yes,
Too early to be nicking stuff. Everyone's too sober at the moment. So.
and remind me of what Hamus's thing actually, not actually looks like. That came out. Okay.
Go straight to the end.
About that.
Oh dear God, and Techie has timing.
Yep.
Oh boy. So yes, remind us how Hamus sounds.
Hamus sounds like this. How else would Hamus sound? He's a Skellige. He comes from Skellige, which is interesting because people that come from Skellige are called Skellige, and that's just really unimaginative. They did not do more than just add an R to the end. Do we not deserve better?
Fair enough. I can see Hamus and Scarlet ending up in a...
Hello then. Who's this Nilfgaardian bastard coming in? He looks familiar. I think I've seen him somewhere before, but I don't know. Looks like a dodgy one anyway. I'd keep an eye on him if I were you.
You actually saying that to one of the barmaids?
No. Tempted, but no.
Just checking. So, yes, you see Dagwood head in, and Dagwood indeed. You know he's supposed to be working this evening, so yep. The tall skeleton behind the bar.
Do I see Dagwood walking in, or do I see...
You see Tamray.
Tamray.
Yes.
Because they dress differently, so I can tell.
They do.
Them.
Yes, it is most definitely Tamray.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't think Dagwood is...
Now Hamus is racking his brains trying to remember whether in this town he's supposed to know Tamray or not. Thinks he isn't.
No. So far as I know, the connection has always been between Dagwood and Hamus.
Correct.
And there's no connection between Tamray and Hamus.
Not at this time. Although I think tonight might be a chance to forge one.
Yes, we may be about to create one.
Yeah. You did have members of the Town Watch offering to kill Tamray for Dagwood, so that's interesting. Life is funny like that, isn't it?
Yeah, very, very weird having people come to me saying, I'd quite happily kill you for you.
Yeah.
What? No, no.
No, please don't. That's taking getting into character way too seriously. So, Dagwood, or Tamray rather, how are you starting your evening?
First up, I suppose, walk in, take a survey of the scenery, look where the gaming tables are, who are likely to be playing. It's early yet, so there probably won't be too many decent games going. So the bar and a drink, which I will take a fair while drinking, to be honest.
Okay.
Because I don't want to get drunk. I'm here to relax, to schmooze, gather information, and maybe win some coin at cards.
Yeah.
Or win other cool things at cards.
You have already had a large glass of very nice red.
Yes. Yes. Another reason why we'll be drinking slowly.
Yeah.
So not pre-drinking with a bottle of wine before coming in and going straight to shots then?
Absolutely not. No.
Yeah. Okay, so he is indeed Nilfgaardian and not British.
Welcome to every Christmas party that every office ever held.
I didn't go to our Christmas party. Kind of regret it, actually.
I could have.
I could have been there with a notebook. Would have been interesting.
Bribery.
I've actually done that before. I have live tweeted Christmas parties for my previous employer because it's just so boring. Because I don't like getting paralytic with people I don't really know. So, yeah, and an office Christmas party this year for me would just be really tragic because it would just be me.
You, yeah.
Me drinking alone.
That's what I had the last few years, you think, before I started this job. Christmas party. Here we are. We're ready for the Christmas party.
Oh.
That was one unimpressed looking pretty cat.
Oh, I do like your new camera, Fish. Mind you,
You can actually see the cat, yes, I know.
Yes, the camera qualities are just so much better now. Unfortunately, it does mean you can tell I badly need to tidy my bedroom. So, checks what's on camera. Is really glad that the frame cuts off what's just to the right of my head. Yeah! Well, you can see it on VC, but yeah. So, I hadn't realised, in my defence. Okay, so, cat cam.
All the cool streamers have it.
They do. Unfortunately, you can't put a camera directly on Pippin because he will take one look at it and leave.
Yeah, I did try, actually, when I still had two of them, I did try and set up a second camera to where they tended to lie on my desk. At which point they promptly went and lay somewhere else until I removed it.
Camera shy
Clearly
kittens.
they're camera shy, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the point. Is the dog sitting where she normally sits? No. So no, the idea of doing the same for my dog wouldn't work either.
I don't know, Velcro maybe on the dog bed. So, I would like a deceit check, please.
Oh dear.
From Tamray.
Oh dear.
Because Dagrid knows Hamus very well indeed, and Tamray doesn't.
That's okay. Deceit's an NPC skill. I've got a moderate chance at that.
Yep. And what you're
I
attempting...
would hope you have a few points in deceit, given what you do for it.
Yeah.
Just one or two.
Yeah. Bear in mind... remind me, Fish, you were looking up the rule earlier. Do humans get...
Oh, the charisma thing, which is on page 24
Thank you.
of the rulebook.
Yeah.
Anyone who thinks that I remember numbers for a living as part of my job.
Yeah.
It's charisma, seduction, and persuasion, but not deceit.
Not deceit. Okay, that's fine.
It's okay. Right, so for those of you watching my stream, it's the red die that I'm looking at for this. The blue die will only come into play if I get a 10 or a 1.
And the blue die.
Will he take the red die or the blue die?
That was almost good.
Oh.
Fortunately, it wasn't terrible.
Okay.
14.
Right. Unfortunately, that's a point shy of where you needed to be to be 100% convincing. Which means I actually do get to roll for the other guys. It's a matter of the approach you need to take is that this is a simple bartender that you do not know. Not, greetings to you, oh person I have never met before in my life. And had you failed completely,
but you didn't roll open-ended low, so you don't walk in and wave to him first, then say, I've never met you.
No,
sorry, you look like someone else.
Yes, we've never met. No, we don't know each other, do we? Hold this handkerchief.
You don't walk in and say, hello, complete stranger.
It's all gone very Monty Python.
It's all gone extremely Monty Python. Oh, fuck's sake. Okay, right. You were not as relaxed and casual about it as you may have intended, but fortunately the people either side at the bar have already gone a couple of drinks down. And at least one of them is attempting to get eyes on the cleavage of the bartender barmaid in front of him.
I was going to say, I thought that Hamus was a bit skinnier than that. I mean, his player might have a cleavage, but it doesn't mean he has.
To be fair, the serving staff do also serve behind the bar, so calling them barmaids is a little bit insulting. It's simply that Hamus is running and is the primary dollar out of alcohol.
And the chances are, just as some of the dancing girls may well be agents, so may well some of the bar staff.
I'm saying nothing about what these young ladies who are able to get between tables easily.
Spend a lot of time overhearing people's conversations.
Yes,
I say nothing about what they may actually do on their paychecks. Yeah.
Chances are their paycheck says nothing about what they actually do on their paychecks. Because that would leave a paper trail someone could follow.
This entire place is run by a Nilfgaardian knight, a surveillance.
Ouch. Womp, 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 womp. Okay. Actually, I know one of you's got that. Okay.
I've got my dice running on that one because my other device, I forgot to put it on charge, so the battery went flat.
I don't have the soundboard up.
This is why your computer's working. To be fair.
You had to say that, didn't you? Expect me to disappear any moment, people.
Hello, Samoth. Good to see you in streams. And please note these streams. Okay.
Stream.
This is all a bit
Sorry,
weird.
I'm in a slightly odd mood. I do apologise.
It's a slightly odd mood. We had an unexpected week off last week, and I was at an event until stupid o'clock this morning, so it's all a bit weird. So,
Hello, Seth. Good evening to you.
yes, so you've ordered yourself a drink, and Hamus has to take payment for it, which I'm assuming goes into the till.
Which, of course, will go into the till, yeah. And he will... Hamus is going to need to make a deceit check.
Yep.
For the same reason I
while
did,
Hamus
presumably.
is not meant to know Temray, he obviously is going to know who Temray is
Exactly.
because he knows Dagran.
Yeah.
So he's going to have to give him the cold shoulder while not actually saying it.
Yes, you've actually got a slightly trickier. You are looking at solid 15s to succeed.
Again, I have got a base of 10, so I need 5 or higher on this.
I had a base of 12.
5 it is.
Oh,
So 15 exactly. Should have spent luck on that. That was
Yes.
risky. I should have spent luck on that.
Yes.
I
Okay.
forgot about luck. Oh,
Yeah.
So, you can Excuse me. Sorry, there's a moth has been bugging the bejesus out of me for the
Well,
last
maybe
10
you were
minutes.
finishing a magic trick. I was looking for where the coin appeared.
Fair enough. So yes, you can serve him with a suitable air of coldness, to the extent that one of the ladies next to you notices. Problem, Hamus? Sorry, let's be clear. She's not Russian. She's German.
Oh,
She's German.
Right,
I
no,
can't
she's
do
a
it.
Nilfgaardian, in
Yes.
fact. She's neither of these
Yes, she is neither of these things. Yes, but with a strong Nilfgaardian accent.
things, which no one can criticise because you don't know what it
Because
sounds like.
no. Problem, Hamus?
Not for me.
Okay. Should we be keeping an eye on the gentleman?
But I'll be keeping an eye on the gentleman, but that's purely personal. I don't think he'll be any trouble to this place. Or to you.
If you say so. Of course, unfortunately,
Let's
she
just say
hasn't
he's a
seen...
friend of a friend, and you know, I don't think either of them really is a friend to me either, so...
Okay. You say it's all right. So...
Oh, good. He won't cause trouble anyway.
No. No. Oh, good. That's a relief. She, unfortunately, has not been around on the Tamray Persona's previous visits, because she tends to work evenings.
Funny that.
Funny indeed. So,
They, for some reason, seem to frown on 24-hour shifts. They feel that giving their staff some break would be a good plan.
yes, they actually treat their staff pretty well, because it's an easy way to keep all of the soldiers who come drinking here. To have the staff, not overworked and tired and knackered. It's me getting my social agenda in for the... I just love the idea. I treat the hookers in the local brothel better than a lot of employees do in real life.
Yep. The Nilfgaardian Empire is an expansionist, vicious, medieval feudal society. It is therefore a few steps up from our current government. Though I do understand that the reason that they made their push north is because they wanted to take back control, and they reckoned that there were 350 million crowns available that they could give to healing to healing chapels throughout the Nilfgaardian Empire if they took it away from the north. Sorry.
Excuse me one moment.
and back in the room.
It's going to be be one of those nights, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
So. Oh, God. So, are you staying at the bar, or are you circulating and picking a table?
Most definitely circulating. I shall find a table that looks like it's got people who are playing or currently or preparing to play some Gwent. I will sit down, ask if they mind if I join their table. They might involve me in a game, they might not. I'll quite happily sit, watch, and chat either way.
Okay, give me an awareness check. See if we can find you a likely table.
Awareness, intelligence. Okay. Red die first again. Oh, for Pete's sakes. 13.
Okay.
It gave me another 2.
Right. You see a couple of smartly dressed men with high boots. Mainly because you can see one of them has it propped up on the chair next to him. And they are shuffling through decks with reasonable skill. But there is a spare seat at their table, and most of the others are filled with the lower orders, and who have either got too much beer on the table, or the cards are already spread all the way across. You can see at least one person who's clearly decided that now is the time to rebuild his deck.
I've been at Magic tournaments, I know what that looks like.
Yeah, is there that one guy at the table in the corner who is running random draws against himself to see how well the deck works?
Yep. Of course. I'm sorry, is this not how card games work?
Pretty much.
He's sat there doing the percentages, balancing out the rares. So, can indeed.
May I join you?
Tamray dresses well, doesn't he?
He does, yes. Tamray is very much Nilfgaardian. Yeah, he dresses a lot better than Dagrid does at the moment.
Dagrid wears scuzz clothes.
Yes.
Okay, so yes, they look you up and down, and the one who's got his foot up on the chair thumps it back down onto the floor, and you hear a slight jingle from the spur on the hill. Certainly. You're not with our unit.
No, I am passing through. I had some business with I forgot the names again. Where's my notepad? Which page of my notepad's it on? I had some business with Captain Elwyn on my way through.
So, it's your business is your business. And they look you up and down, and then one says, "Are you ready?" The other, "Okay." They chuck down a couple of crowns each, and start to play Gwent.
Excellent. I shall
talking
study
about
them.
coins, but no, these are adventurers. They literally throw diadems onto the table.
It could happen. I mean, it won't happen for you lot, because to get diadems you'd have to go places which are probably more haunted than you're willing to deal with.
True. Diadem for us normally means the odds are that if we take on those people, we will diadem.
Ouch. No, that is. Sorry, playing with my lighting. So, make me a gambling roll for Tammy.
Gambling.
Let's see your assessment of their skill.
Right, red die again. Oh, I got a better die roll. It's a 3 this time. Now, what does that make with the rest of the gambling skill? That is a empathy skill.
It's an empathy skill.
Which makes it 13.
Okay. They play with the smoothness of people who are familiar with each other's styles. The couple of coins they have tossed down is clearly, it wouldn't be enough to change anyone's life, and it's not exactly betting the house. It's a token. But they play with confidence, and one seems quite capable. The chap who didn't have his foot up on the chair. The other one. He seems more capable than his companion. But there's not a lot in it.
Okay. I shan't intrude on the play. I shall wait until the game is over before commenting.
Okay.
But I'm assuming it's apparent from the way you described it that they play fairly regularly together. Almost like it's a regular game between them. So once the game's over, good game. Thank you for letting me watch. Do you play regularly, either of you?
There are so few challenges. I don't know where he's coming from. I think there's apparently a Russian piece. I don't know what's going on there. I don't know where that accent's coming from. It's apart from Ukraine, I think.
So clearly he's inland and to the east somewhere.
It is, yeah. He's clearly one of those. His accent actually should be slightly north of here, because he's from a kingdom just north where all the cavalry soldiers come from. Because high boots and spurs equates to cavalry officer.
I guessed it. I hadn't guessed it from the high boots, but the spurs made me think, cavalry.
Yeah, he's basically, although they are essentially in civvies, they're in reasonable quality clothes. But they both still have their cavalry boots on, because once you've found a comfortable pair of boots, that tends to be what you wear.
So cavalry boots indicates that either they are cavalry, as we have just been discussing, or, given their current locale, that they've got some really weird kinks.
You just gotta hope they take their boots off if they hire anybody for the evening. Oh, well. Okay. As if by magic, a fishy disappeared.
So from what I've seen, does the more accomplished one appear to be a better player than me?
Now, with that one roll, it's
difficult
hard to tell. You don't know how well the cards fell for him, as opposed to how well the deck was constructed. He certainly did well with what he had, and he does in fact win the game.
Since I was AFK, has he done a human perception roll on them?
No.
Because that would be the way to judge them as players. Combination of gambling and human perception.
Yeah. You can have a pump with that.
Absolutely. Let's see if I can roll something better than a 3. A 5! So where the hell's human perception?
A couple down from gambling.
Which totals to 13.
Okay.
I'm equating around the 13 mark today, clearly.
That's just your thing today, isn't it? It's just no.
Unlucky for some.
It is. Okay. They are both very relaxed about it, but you do get the distinct impression that the one who's losing is perhaps trying harder.
Okay.
You get the impression he's trying to raise his game. But it's not an urgent thing, and there's certainly, the family lands are not at stake.
That's a relief.
Pardon me.
I'll cast a quick look around. Are there many other games going on?
There are several other games going on. Tables are not explicitly set up for... Yeah. Hello, Tail. For Gwent.
Hang on. In this place, tables are not specifically set up for Tail?
Tables have not explicitly been set up for Tail. Sorry, for Gwen. You got me doing it now. Damn you. However, Gwent is the current obsession in most bars.
So, with it having said, there's not much of a challenge around here. I'll take a look around. There seem to be several other tables of games going on. Are they all lacking challenge for you?
I tend not to play with enlisted.
I see. I understand.
I'm far too much of a snob to find a good game.
Well, if your friend doesn't mind, I'll be more than happy to give you a fresh opponent for a match or two.
Okay. It's just... What happened there? Okay, that was weird. Sorry, my graphics just went blah.
Oh, wonderful.
Everything seems happy, so clearly just that monitor
Good.
went a bit floopy. Possibly just the browser window. God. Okay. So, yes. You can attempt me a persuasion check.
Persuasion. Okay.
They're only a couple of drinks in. The testosterone and ego has yet to kick in. Well, relatively speaking, the other officers.
12.
Okay.
To be honest, if he refuses, I'm quite happy with that. I'll quite happily sit and watch and chat.
Okay.
They're kind enough to let me join at their table. I'm not going to get into a verbal combat about it. I'm not looking to force myself into the game.
No, it's never a good idea to force yourself into any situation. And
No.
yes, I meant to do that for you, Fish. I apologise. I can do so, or you can do so.
Well, I never did finalise the graphics because I need to. I was looking for a better axe, and I don't have a better axe, so I would probably give him a dagger or something instead.
Hamus always has an axe to grind.
Yeah. Just that in that graphic, it's a proper battle axe. Or, I mean, it's a hand axe, but it's a war hand axe, whereas his is actually more of a hatchet.
Mm-hmm.
So I need to do a version with something else instead. Worst case, I'll just take the axe away altogether and have nothing in his hand. That'd work. Especially since the token is only going to be head and shoulders and you won't see that. There you go.
There is that.
That is a very good point.
Pardon me. So...
Like with that music just suddenly got a bit epic.
I know, I was going to say, it's a card game, it's nothing else.
It's not... I did specifically say not verbal combat.
Yes, you're waved to the table, and the previous winner spreads his cards before you, or spreads his deck before you. I play Nilfgaardian, of course.
Of course.
So, what's your preference?
Right, as someone who's never played The Witcher, and I think only ever played 2 games of the Gwent computer game, I have no clue about the actual game itself.
It is essentially broken down by the primary power groups. It's Nilfgaard, the North, all of it.
All of it.
Yep. Monsters and Scoia'tael. So you've basically got Skellige and now Skellige, yeah. So you probably would have a Nilfgaardian deck unless your preferences ran otherwise.
No, I think I probably would be running. I would like to think I would have a couple of choices, but by preference, unless I needed to give a different impression, I would play a Nilfgaardian deck because it plays the type. So yeah.
That means that I might be able, if he comes into any good money, good cash in this town, I might be able to fleece him of some of his share of it by selling him that funky Nilfgaardian Emperor.
Yes.
Card.
Yes.
It acquired completely legitimately.
Acquired. Fell off the back of a table.
Yeah, it did indeed fall off the back of a table.
Yeah.
Hey, finders, keepers, losers, weepers.
Yeah. This is when you find out that the guy lost a Nilfgaardian Emrys card a few days earlier. I used to have a gold one of those.
Well, if he did, maybe you've got a better chance of beating him.
Yes, I too play Nilfgaard.
Equal challenge then. Good. So
I would like to hope so, but we shall see.
See if we have any specific gambling rules. If not, I am perfectly happy to make some up. let's make them up.
Alternatively, we could always boot up Gwent and see if he can play.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
I'm not terrible
I have a
at
small
Gwent.
selection of gambling rules from a small selection of games. Should you need some inspiration?
No, I have some. I have an idea in mind, so that's not a problem. So we're going to go with opposed successes, and for each degree of difficulty you break it by, it will be that many turns go in your favour.
Okay.
So, round
Do I
one.
want to burn luck on a card game that means no? I don't. It's not an important game. I'll save my luck.
Save your luck, my darling. Sorry.
It really is one of those evenings, isn't it?
It really, really, really is. Ooh. I've got Jim Beam in the other room. I'm awfully tempted.
I was very good because when I went AFK, I didn't replenish the whiskey and coke that I have now finished.
Oh, fair enough.
I'm just going to stream on 1 whiskey and coke, not 2 whiskey and cokes.
Save your luck for the moment he wants to cut your throat with the sharp edge of a card.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm playing against Gambit.
Hmm.
I thought you said he was from the east, not from any sort of Cajun area.
Right. No, I must not give this cavalry officer a Cajun accent.
No, really don't.
No, really don't, because I can't do them for very long.
It's Gabriel the Knight.
Oh dear Lord.
Help.
Sorry, I seem to have broken trust.
I already created a character called Gabriel von Ritter in Warhammer. Who worked and I really loved. Okay. Make me a gambling check, please.
Okay, gambling is on empathy, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
It is. Okay, so we are 15.
Okay. So that is... Okay. Unfortunately, the first round goes very, very poorly indeed. From your first draw, you realise that the cards simply not going your way. What you had assumed would be an interesting way of simply nibbling away at his first points equates to you laid down spies. They were instantly taken back from the table using decoy cards, and suddenly you're sitting there facing a far larger stack of cards in his hand, and all the spies redeployed to your side of the board. What is your base gambling skill?
3.
Okay. Make me a... Oh dear, I hate to have to say common sense check. Let's see what we can do.
Human perception?
Human perception.
Which is also an empathy skill.
Yep. But I think you're better at it than gambling, aren't you?
Yes. No, I'm better at gambling, but the roll actually came out in my favour.
Okay.
So that gives me a 16.
Okay. From the slightly smug body language, you get the distinct impression that now is the time possibly to cut your losses for round 1.
Yeah.
Throw the remaining cards under the bus, which will clear all the spies off your table and give you a card to draw
For round 2.
and to possibly improve your situation for round 2.
That sounds reasonable.
And that's what happens when he rolls a 24.
Holy moly!
He rolled a 24 and a d10.
Yes.
I mean, you can, but...
Yes. It was a total of 24.
Yeah, I thought that was...
Yeah. But, yeah, it was awesome. I thought...
So this is a game where you could roll a 24
Yes.
and a d10.
Yes.
Okay. Round 2.
He's taking round 2 as well.
Okay.
13.
So close. He did
No,
not.
sorry, 12.
Oh, not that close then. Yes, his roll of 16, unfortunately. The first 2 turns of round 2 go his way. He clearly had a better draw. He had more cards in his hand from round 1. You think you can see some hope, but it's going to be tricky. And keeping enough cards back for round 3 is going to be trickier yet.
But with him already having won rounds 1 and 2.
No, he hasn't taken round 2 yet.
Okay.
His opposed roll was better than yours, but it was not so spectacularly good as to simply ace the whole round.
Gotcha. So I've still got a chance.
Oh, shit.
Best 3 out of 5?
No, 2 out of 3.
It is 2 out of 3.
It is. Sorry,
In
I
which
just
case-
had a stuff slide.
Yeah.
You
a problem here.
Yeah. Yeah. So you can either fold and hand him the game, or you can try and struggle through and pull round 2 back.
Well, if I can't pull round 2 back, I lose. If I hand it in now, I lose. So let's make a game of it. Let's struggle through, see if we can pull round 2 out the bag.
Right.
Yeah, make him work for it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Let's take another go. This is actually working okay because I'm giving X number of hands, but he did basically almost double your roll. Okay.
18.
Right. The game turns. The game turns. You deploy a card which allows you to pull others from your draw deck, and suddenly the situation twists. You're slightly back on top, ahead in the points for this round.
Excellent.
And the next roll will determine who wins round 2.
Right. 15.
Oh, I re-rolled that. Okay. With a nice piece of play, you ace his front line with a scorch, and round 2 falls to you.
Whew.
You now have 1 coin apiece. Well, tokens.
Yeah. At this point, I consider myself happy that I've at least made him fight for round 2. Made it, which hopefully will have made it worth his while on a intellectual level to accept the newcomer, which is what I was hoping for.
Roll me a d6 plus your gambling skills, so d6 plus 3, I think, in your
D6
case.
plus 3. Okay, green die. Ugh. Does it explode?
No.
Okay, in that case, 4.
Right, you start round 3 with 4 cards in your hand.
Oh dear Lord.
Thanks to his spectacular round 1, he starts with 8.
This is not looking good.
Yes. If this game runs on, he can win by virtue of simply having more cards to play.
Yeah.
The odds are good that that will be enough to see you off. However, clever play can change that. So, gambling skill roll, please.
Sorry, say that again?
Gambling roll, please.
Gambling skill. Come on, dice. Oh, crap. 13.
4 cards to starter is bad, you reload. Yes, Mecky.
At this point, I think I need him to roll a 1 and explode negatively.
Funny you should say that.
No.
Yes, but the internal die was only a 2, so that's actually only a -1 penalty overall. So that still puts him to 10.
Which was against my 13.
Against your 13, sorry, I glitched.
That's fine.
So, round 3, you start well, Not spectacularly, but you're making the best of what you've got. This is going to be a close game.
15.
14. The next round the next hand passes, next turn even, and you're matching each other point for point.
It's tight. It's very tight.
Nothing spectacular has been laid by either. He still has 6 cards in his hand to your 2.
Come on, die. Be a good one. Oh, jeez. 13.
Okay. I actually need to do some maths for this one. Hang on. Just going to be 2. Total of 2. Because he exploded and then got a 9. I rolled a 1 full and a 9 was on the inner die.
Oh my word.
Yeah. Okay. With your penultimate card, you lay. You realise that what you have left is a commander's horn, which will double the value of all the cards on one row for you. His play attacks your back row, knocking out 3 points worth of cards. Little troopers. With a flourish, you lay the horn, leaving him staring at his hand, which is full of decoy and remove weather effect cards, which would probably have been extremely useful in round 2. It comes down to the wire, but you take round 3. He grins at you. Were you playing for money or were you simply playing?
We hadn't discussed, but I was quite happy to put coins on the table. But if we didn't, we didn't. I'm cool either way.
He will have offered a
cut. Did he ante up? Because if he did,
yeah, if he entered up, I'd have matched. But
again, it was simply the couple of coins for social. Seems to be his indicator for a social game.
Sounds reasonable.
It's the honour of victory rather than the cash. Because obviously cash is not an issue. Why would it?
He's an officer.
His eyebrows raise considerably as you finish with a final flourish. And please don't make me say that 3 times fast. And he gives you a little mock salute. Well played, sir.
Thank you. I shall smile and give him an open bow. In terms of the stakes that we've been playing for, is there enough to cover a couple of drinks off that?
Drink costs. Probably not a couple of
costs. It's 5 for a beer, 10 for spirits.
Yeah. So no.
No.
It'll buy almost a pint of beer.
Right. What are he and his friend drinking at the moment?
Him and his friend appear to be drinking a clear spirit you don't recognise.
Ooh.
Actually, you are it's in Mahakam. It's Mahakam, not Elder Speech. Yes, there is a clear square bottle on the table, which you don't recognise the writing on.
Okay. If they've brought their own or they've bought a bottle, then that kind of torpedoes my suggested what I was thinking of them just going to the bar, buying them a couple of drinks as a thank you.
Yeah.
They've got their drink already. No point.
That was well played, sir.
It was a good game.
Oh, shit.
You really had me working for it, I'll tell you that much. I had to work hard, thank you.
I've recently been adjusting my deck. I had an unfortunate incident the other day.
Oh dear.
Allow me to introduce myself anyway. Duke Jonas von Meer.
I'm sorry, did you say Duke?
He smiles in a look at the old lower orders sort of way. Indeed.
Tamari Van Rockane, at your service.
I believe I know the name. Van minor nobility?
Just so.
You're a long way from home and not in the army.
No, I'm running some errands. I had business with Captain Elwyn.
So you said, yes. Yes, I bear the rank of captain in the cavalry. This is my adjutant, Lieutenant Leon de Torme.
Pleasure.
Hello? Says the man who lost the first game and has been sat trying not to grin as you beat his friend on the rematch.
Which explains why he lost.
Yeah.
Yes, one never beats your superior officer.
Indeed,
It's a simple rule.
Maybe the odd round, but never the whole match.
Exactly.
So
Please,
what was this chapter? What was the Duke's name again?
Jonas, as in Jonas. Varmere. Jonas von Meer.
Thank you.
Now created the Van Meer family. As opposed to Vermeer, which may be possibly my influence. It's a family of artists and cavalrymen. Oh, snap. They are nice, aren't they?
Yeah.
So, the lieutenant... Why don't you join us for a drink, sir?
I'd be happy to. Thank you.
He does that intensely annoying thing, hated, as far as I can tell, by everybody in customer service. He actually does the...
Oh. Yes.
I've had people do that to me when I worked in a shop.
Yes, so have I.
Yep.
Heck.
The difference is you're not supposed to do it in a shop.
No.
In the
I've
right
also-
circumstance for waiting staff, you are supposed to do it.
You can
It's
do it,
expected.
yes.
That's a different thing.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I've had people do it to me when I was frontline on the service desk. I've done a desk visit to fix one guy's computer. One of his colleagues did that one.
No. Oh, that's just rude.
Hi, how can I help?
No, I actually had... Girl.
Oh, my word.
Not nice drug. No. Served them with a smile, mentally cursed afterwards. It didn't even send them away with the wrong fuse. Right. So yes, fingers are clicked. One of the bar staff comes over, sent away with an order, and comes back with a clean glass.
Thank you.
The lieutenant reaches out and pours you a healthy couple of fingers.
Oh, word.
Mahakam fire. The dwarves, well, they may not know much, but they do know how to brew drink.
Now, I will assume that I've never had Malcolm 5 before.
The odds are good that no. Certainly not to this grade. It's the difference between, $10.99 tequila from Lidl and the sort of stuff that you look at in Waitrose and go, yeah, very nice, but I'd be paying for the artwork on the bottle. You know what I'm talking about. If it comes with a bespoke oil painting, the odds are pretty good you can't afford it.
So it's not the difference then between a bottle of Captain Morgan's at 40% and Tiki Fire at 70%. That's an important distinction. If it's that.
Yeah.
So, having not come across this before, I can't say as I've had the pleasure before. I'll give it a fair sniff, a reasonable sniff before tasting some.
Okay.
And I suspect I'll get that sort of first timer's whiskey cough going on.
Right, I would like you to make me a body check, please.
Holy, on a sip?
D10 plus body. No, don't panic. This is not a. You sniff it, therefore you're insta drunk.
What is the?
Oh. You haven't even drunk anything yet, but you've picked up a glass. Must be intoxicated.
Don't. What an idiot that guy was. Yeah. Sorry. Okay. Right.
Is there a resist alcohol skill I can start getting? Body skills, no, physique and endurance. Yep. Dang it.
I think it would be endurance.
No, it would be endurance, yeah. You get a strong whiff of alcohol evaporating up away from the glass just based on the warmth of your hand.
Ooh.
This is going to be good stuff.
Do you have to roll courage before drinking it?
However, it also smells in the back of your throat. You know, where the taste and smell... No, for people who haven't recently impacted us.
I remember what it's like to have that happen, yes.
You know that point at the back of your nose? You also get a strong hint of cherries, so it's probably going to taste quite nice. But the odds are good it's going to take your head off.
Multiple filtered cherry schnapps.
Mm-hmm. It is completely crystal clear.
The Duke's offering you his cherry.
I'm
glad I resisted that urge.
Oh, I'm glad you resisted that urge and didn't feel the need to broadcast that one to the rest of us. Cheers. It's good to know you're that restrained, dear.
We are saved.
I tried.
Then you have a cup of tea.
I shall have a sip of this.
Mm-hmm. Okay, sipping was your good move. Had you failed the body check, either you'd have had the whiskey drinker's cough or you'd have just gone for it. Yes, this is sipping liquor. This is not do it in a shot. And you are able to not go.
Despite the lieutenant sitting to one side going, down in one, down in one.
What's your social etiquette? Under intelligence.
Intelligence is 6. Social etiquette is not appearing in this episode.
Okay.
I got streetwise.
Unfortunately, you're drinking with the officers. It's social etiquette.
Yeah.
So, make me a social etiquette roll.
I want to put 2 luck into this.
Okay. I want schnapps now. Or tiki fire. I really want some tiki fire.
16. Yeah. Including the 2 luck.
Good. Awfully glad you did that.
Amos isn't involved in this scene. I'm going to go and get the tiki fire.
Damn you.
Okay, you're going to feed the cat some tiki fire. Okay, right, fair enough. How badly does that chair move purely based on Pippin just jumping off it? Boom.
Yeah.
Big cat. Okay. So, yes, the officer, the captain, appreciatively looks at you and says, a man of taste.
Yes,
I have this imported from a family. A family my parents have dealings with in Mahakam. They supply our armour for our family. Excellent work. And they also make a surprisingly good brew.
Indeed. Most impressive.
but not to be drunk quickly.
Quite so.
We need another one of those.
We need another one of those. Oh, that's why I couldn't say it. For some reason, I thought it was in a small square bottle, not the
No,
big
it's an
normal
ordinary
one.
bottle-sized bottle. Probably should have picked it up today. But...
Yeah, I was thinking of it in terms of a fireball-sized bottle for some reason, not a normal, scary.
Yes.
You know what I just described? That's pretty much what he's just.
Except it's rum.
Yeah. It's about 70% alcohol.
It is 70% alcohol. Yeah.
Good stuff. Right. And it's good timing. So, back to the bar. It's been maybe an hour or so. Things are starting to warm up. You can see a few games breaking out. A couple of people are attempting to set up a game of dice, but no one's particularly interested. So they end up just playing with each other. Everyone just plays Gwent these days, indeed.
Yeah.
And a couple of the faster moving, or who realise that, you get a cheaper rate early in the evening, and before the surge kicks in, soldiers have...
Or at least you don't have to queue for your choice.
Exactly. Have vanished upstairs with a couple of the entertainers. So, yes, things are warming up nicely, as things are wont to do in the evening.
I'm a little disappointed that Camray is playing with an obvious noble officer type.
Yeah?
Yes, because if he was playing with just the common soldiery, who would be less likely to be concerned by such things, I'd be very tempted to start collecting glasses so that I could attempt to cheat against him on behalf of his opponent.
You son of a glitch.
Yeah, I've just got to maintain my cover. I'm not supposed to like you.
Fair enough. And hello, cat. Bum. Sorry, it's just wiggling, just off camera. Right. After a few minutes, watching Tamray drink carefully and cautiously with two officers who, you don't know them personally. You've only worked here a night or two. But they clearly are.
But they're officer types.
Officer types.
And they're keeping themselves apart from the enlisted men. So
entirely.
One draws certain conclusions.
You do. You are distracted.
In this place all the time.
One of the entertainers who you know.
Yep, that's what does it.
Yeah. Who you've encountered but don't know in person, comes in with a bundle of cloths, soaks it in the water, which is in a chiller dug into the floor to keep it cool. It's where you keep the beer bottles, basically.
Yeah, makes sense.
Or the bottles of spirituous liquor that is designed to be kept chilled. Unlike the elven one where it just says no smoke, the dwarven one where it just has no smoking written next to it. And yes, soaks the cloth for a little while, wrings them out, and vanishes back out.
That's interesting.
At no stage did she smile at you, did she say a word. Most people smile at you. There's something about Amos. People just grin at him.
Where does she go when she leaves?
She vanishes out the back exit that you know the side exit, that you know leads both to the rooms but also to the staff quarters. And offices.
Okay. Passing across the room, how close to his companions is Tamray sitting?
Across. Basically,
So...
they were sitting side by side and playing at the short end of a table, He was
I
on the
might
long
be able
end.
to whisper a message to him without him hearing.
Conceivably, yes, with a decent deception check.
In that case, I'm going to do a
Glass
collection
collection.
run.
Yeah.
Not going to go straight to that table, obviously. I'm going to go around a little bit, possibly make a couple of trips before I hit that table.
Okay.
Then, as I'm collecting the glasses,
Mm-hmm.
something's going on out the back. I think they're Rob's bandages.
Right.
Leave it at that because I won't have time for
No.
delivering much more.
Right. Make me a deceit check in order to conceal
Oh,
your speech.
Yeah, oh, it is. So,
And
base
could be.
10
Remember, you
deceit.
have luck if you want.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to throw a couple of luck into this, so I'm on a base 12.
Yep.
That's open-ended. I didn't need the luck.
Oh,
Ah, son of a glitch.
29 deceit.
holy crap!
If anyone who is a fan of Rusty Quill watches this on VOD, because I know there's nobody in the stream at the moment that I recognise anyway, that is Sasha level deceit, people.
Stab first, ask questions
Lydia would
never.
be proud of that.
Yeah, that is. That absolutely is. That's stealthed so hard that
Yeah.
you don't even know it's stealth.
Yeah.
Lock is picked so many times you don't even know if it's locked or not. Okay. And I know at least one person does who, because she's watching
I'm
it.
kind of speaking to Alexia, who's the only person I know watches this, is into Rusty Quill.
Yeah. Okay. So, you breathe your message with immense clarity into the ear of Tamray.
While simultaneously looking daggers at him.
Well, simultaneously, yes, managing to look daggers at him and convey total contempt with your body language.
Absolutely. That last part's really easy.
Right. So, what's Tamray going to do with this information?
Can I see the area of the bar from my current seat?
You can, yes.
My mutation is showing.
Is there sign of any more movement in that sort of direction?
Only the standard bartenders, a few people heading up from tables to place orders, some of the enlisted men taking drinks back, others waiting for waitresses.
And where would the lavatories be?
You are aware that there are privies outside.
Which is roughly in the direction that those rags soaked in cold water went, isn't it?
Yes.
Excellent.
The directions to the officer privies and the directions to the enlisted privies start very similarly. They both begin with exit through main door. Unfortunately, that's the whole of the enlisted instructions.
No, there is a rear exit to the Privates Club, and you know that you are aware of this because you saw Bella and her girls leave through there earlier in the evening. However, you also, since you work there and you're not an idiot and have bodily functions, there are some privies out back of the hut with hole in ground. Deploy hover mode.
Privy to them for me.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yes, it is likely, however, that the enlisted men do take the exit through main entrance and have a weeing wall.
If you'll excuse me for a moment, I have a need to make a visit. I shall return.
Yes, there is a chuckle from the officers you're drinking with.
And I shall head out to the general area of the privies.
Okay. You can head out to past the offices, which is where you've got the offices and you've got the stairs. Stairway to heaven or whatever.
God.
I know. Reasonably priced. No, this isn't Vegas. God. And you can hear movement and footsteps above you. and movement. It's a wooden building. There's not a lot to be had in the way of soundproofing.
Yeah.
And yes, there is indeed the door at the back is propped open for the convenience of those who need such things.
And passing through said door, keeping an ear out for sounds of A, people in pain, and B, the voice of Bella. I wouldn't necessarily identify the voices of whoever else she was with, but Bella I spoke to, I know her voice.
Make me an awareness check, please.
$17.
Okay, you actually hear Bella's voice before you leave the building. Before you make it as far as the back door. You hear Bella's voice coming from her office. And it's talking constantly in a low, reassuring tone. A similar one that you might use on a skittish horse.
Yep. Or a particularly panicked victim.
That would do it too. But it's definitely coming from her office.
Okay. But the rags definitely went outside, so...
No, the rags left the main bar.
Ah.
There is only one side exit that leads to all the other rooms in the building.
Right.
And the rear exit's off that. Sorry, I apologise. Wasn't
No, that's fine.
Yeah, once they went backstage, so to speak, from the bar, I lost track of them.
Yeah.
Gotcha, right, yes. In which case... I shall head upstairs.
Okay.
Quietly.
Okie doke.
I'm in favour of bringing in some equipment for future games from a game with a roughly equivalent, roughly compatible game system. I'd like access to headwear comms, please. That would make this so much easier.
If only we could get some sort of enchantress to maybe enchant some small beads that we could have as earrings or something.
Can be done, I would imagine.
How many? Let me see. How many games do I know that have done that? Well, there's the obvious one you're referring to. Then there's Rusty calls Mobile Stones. I think it was Einstein who created the Mobile Stones.
I think it was. I think my favourite one involved earrings. Which was quite impressive because one of the people who needed to wear them in an actual play had a fear of blood, but it was earrings for pierced ears. So everybody else had these little comms earrings, little copper, very pretty earrings, much to the disgruntlement of the barbarian. And unfortunately, I think it was the thief who fused point blank had a fear of blood, and it's just no. No, not doing it. I think they ended up holding him down with a needle and a hammer.
Jesus.
Yeah, I don't think it went well.
Presumably had a bottle of spirit as well.
Yeah, I believe that was
Drink
mentioned.
this, pass out.
I didn't pass out. I think they wanted him conscious.
Okay.
But yeah, there a certain degree went afterwards.
After they'd done that, then presumably they also used the same tactics to get him on a plane.
I ain't getting on a plane, fool.
Yeah. So, are you trying to sneak upstairs, or are you just trying?
We are stealthing up the stairs.
You are stealthing up the stairs, right? Stealthing up to the bedrooms. All the bedrooms of varying types.
Stealthing up to Bella's office.
Bella's office is on the ground floor. No, Bella's office is on the ground floor.
Right, sorry, I misunderstood.
That's all right. No, Bella's office is on the ground floor with it's next to the room where Kate used to work, or presumably now will work again, wherein all of the costumes.
That depends. How many limbs she's still got?
So,
well, provided she's still got a couple, she's probably going to be okay. A little shaken, but she can cope. So yeah,
but not stirred.
So yes, basically, I want to get to Bella's office. But
okay,
do so stealthily.
Yes. Yes, you can head the couple of doors up, and indeed, you can park yourself outside Bella's office, where the door is closed.
Cool. I rolled 13 on the stealth, by the way. Not spectacular, but...
Okay. That's definitely enough to be worth... Hang on. Right. As you park yourself outside the door, and yes, you can hear the voice coming from the other side, it's suddenly flung open and you are grabbed by the shoulder and pulled in. Because that's what happens when somebody rolls 19 on their awareness check.
Hello.
Yep. You are pushed against the wall, and a knife is to your throat by the time you get to say, "Huh?"
Well, I was going to knock.
Put him down, Nadia. So, it's one of the two entertainer ninjas who you saw leaving with Bella.
Nadia the Ninja Entertainer. I shall remember her.
I certainly will.
Yes. I like Nadia the Ninja. That appeals to me.
And as she sort of backs up, sort of touch the knife. Very sharp. Very nice. How did it go?
You take in the rest of the room. Basically, Bella's office, you know from previous experience, has large table seating. And at this point, sitting on the desk is the other ninja. I say the other ninja, the other entertainer, the other agent, who is having her neck staunched by Bella. Sitting on the seat is the battered and bruised and bloodied form of a woman in her 30s, who shows signs of clear mistreatment. She hugs her knees to her chest and is rocking slowly while whimpering. But the focus is on the wound just under the clavicle on the other agent, who is pale and shaky.
How can I assist?
No, nothing we can do about that. Clearly a pre-existing condition.
Is it just today is kick politics up the wire?
Probably, sorry.
That's
Carry
right.
on.
Good lord.
Don't knock it. We all love the NHS, we do. We want to keep it. So, yes, well, you can stop distracting my agents for starters. Her voice, although clipped, is staying at the same calm level. I think she's broken her collarbone. It wasn't me who broke it, says the injured woman, and then groans.
Is there anything I can do to help? Well, we're going to need a new dancer for a few days.
Other dexterity skills does not have dance.
Do you have any experience in setting bones?
I have no medical experience whatsoever.
Good, neither do I. How strong does he appear to be? Basically, what's his body?
Average. Body 5.
How tall is he?
I think we had him set as fairly short.
Okay.
About 5'8". So it's still taller than me, but...
Yeah, that's slightly, yes, an inch or so taller than me, yeah. So, if you can come and support her arm, Nadia, you can put the bone back together. You hear a string of Nilfgaardian curses.
All of which I can understand.
Yes, all of which you can understand with extreme clarity. And you're reasonably aware that without at least one cricket bat, you can't do that. Certainly not to a frog. So yes, between the three of you then, with you supporting the arm to take the pressure off the broken collarbone, Bella pushing the bone back under the skin, which is where the wound has come from.
Holy crikey.
And Nadia manipulating the bone back into some form of order. While the poor...
Yeah, me too, Neo. Me too.
I shall take that as a compliment for my descriptive skills.
I'm generally quite squeamish.
Yeah. While the other agent bites hard upon... While the other agent, as yet unintroduced and unnamed, and probably not in the mood for conversation, bites hard upon a piece of leather strapping Bella happened to have lying around her office.
Oh, wait, yeah, I just remembered where we were, sorry. Why would there be leather strapping on this? Oh, yes. We're in a bordello.
Yep. And you get to make me...
Oh, good lord.
This is tough. This is her attempting not to scream into the bracing belt, while everybody else tries not to cause her pain whilst also simultaneously causing her excruciating agony. I would like you to make me a willpower check.
Me?
Yeah.
With my reputation?
Oh, yes.
Pure willpower.
If we've got anything else...
The only skill that could possibly help here is intimidation, and I don't think that's going to cut it.
Courage.
Courage,
oh,
yes.
crap.
It's obviously going to be courage, yes.
Okay,
I will be bonus to courage.
This because willpower was my dump stat.
You do also have luck.
I do also have luck.
And do humans get a bonus to courage?
No, humans get to reroll 3... what is it? Reroll a failed resist coercion or courage roll 3 times per game session.
Ah. So I can Okay, well let's put 2 luck in here. Mm-hmm. For all the good it's going to do me.
Okay.
I may possibly have highlighted that in my copy of
Yep.
And let's see what we get. I didn't need to put the thrilling luck in.
What did you
That's
get?
the way it works.
21. Sorry.
Whoa.
23 with the luck.
Okay. You feel the muscles, and quite impressive ones, spasm under your hands as the very action of attempting to stiffen her body and take the pain causes her new agony because the collarbone supports the entire left side of the torso. You have an instinctive need to stop hurting this person. But you bite the proverbial bullet, tighten your grip, and her face turns paper white as with a sickening snap and a crunch, the bone is placed back in her neck. After she's no longer having to hold everything in place, Bella straps the arm across the chest. I think we've all seen people with dodgy collarbone injuries, supporting that whole side, and allows the girl to lie down on the seat next to the clearly traumatized and injured Kate.
Once the injured girl is down and resting, I will then allow myself to breathe. A nice cathartic exhale.
Yep. Nadia is ordered back to camp. You're not sure who Rolf is, but she's to bring him here.
I'm guessing he's either one they might use for debriefing or a medic to continue looking after the injured one. But that is an assumption and a guess.
It would seem likely.
Painting of them.
Can you guess what it is yet?
Yeah, I mean, the broken collarbone's one of the worst simple fractures.
Isn't that what
you
they
can
said to
have.
him at his sentencing?
Yikes.
Okay. So yes, after Bella heads off, after Nadia heads off at a run, you're still not entirely sure how she can run that fast in that outfit. No, it's not kink wear. She is still in the black and grey.
She can run that fast in that outfit very easily because there is no obstructing material.
So, yeah, she's still in the black and grey ninja gear. Shadow camouflage. And flat boots, I did establish. They're not stupid enough to attempt to do this in heels. I have never gone for the whole heel wearing ninjas. Not unless you're showing off. I think we've all got a copy now. Haven't we?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, after that, Bella turns her attention to Kate. Sits down next to her and essentially puts her arm around her and is talking to her in a low tone. You can't quite hear what's being said, but given how imperious and no-nonsense Bella has been in all your contacts previously, she seems remarkably almost maternal towards the older woman. She turns to you. There's a bottle in my desk. Get it, and then leave.
Of course.
We will speak of this tomorrow, but not now.
Understood. I'll get the bottle, hand it to her, and then leave.
Okay.
I'm assuming the instruction was to give her the bottle rather than...
Yes.
Oh, prize!
Yes, thank you for helping set a bone. And this...
Yes, this is an RPG. You get given something every time you achieve anything.
I completed a quest. Yes. I got loot. I'm off.
Have this bottle.
Ding, 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 ding. No, that was... ding, ding, ding. That's it.
Yeah.
Gabriel Knight. How do I know I've just done something significant? Someone's mobile just went off. I was cursing you couldn't get those sound files. Right. Right. So, you can
so I shall then return to my table. Rather, yes. the officer's table.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Make me... Because this was quite stressful.
Mm-hmm.
I would like you to make me a courage
Even with a
check.
willpower roll like that?
Oh, no, that was to actually carry on and do the job. Make me a courage check, please.
Courage check. God.
Fails his roll, walks away from the table as Tamray comes back as Dagris.
Yes, who am I supposed to be?
10. Oh, yeah, 10.
10.
I didn't put any luck into this one, just 10.
Okay. Heading back, you feel a little shaky.
Neo has a very good point.
I wasn't going to say anything. It's worth checking.
Yeah, let's take a quick look. I was supporting the arm. Shouldn't have been too much. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Blood all over his chest, and all Idorden says as he comes back is, I hope you washed your hands.
He's vanished off upstairs for 3 minutes. Came back. White as a sheet. Well, not upstairs. He vanished out towards the upstairs. On his own. Came back white as a sheet. I mean, there's no way that could possibly go wrong. Right. Let me just check. Yeah, unfortunately you need an 11 because you need to beat the difficulty class. You're okay, but you are not. You are clearly shaken. Possibly something fortifying before attempting any further conversation would go down well.
I have a drink at their table.
You do have a drink at their table? Okay. Yes, he himself is clean, but I thought I'd give him the opportunity to panic. Yeah, he never went near the... It was essentially, she had a compound fracture of the collarbone, of the clavicle. So, yeah, she's not going to be doing anything complicated for the next few weeks. At least. Although, magic healing is a thing. In this setting.
If only we had a mage.
Yeah.
Or a witcher.
We don't want a witcher. Evil mutant swine. Can't trust them.
Now, which one of you was friends with a witcher? Oh, that would be Dagrid then.
Yep, don't trust witches. I was friends with a witch. Witches tend to kill them.
Witches don't necessarily tend to kill them. People who follow certain of
Geralt doesn't tend to kill them.
Yeah.
Geralt just bonks them and lets them go. But
doesn't your
other
place?
witches, when they've been paid to, have a bad habit of killing them.
It largely comes down to if you are evildoer, then your occupation's largely irrelevant, but you're more likely to have a witcher come after you if you're an evil witch. And of course, the definition of evil comes down to who's got the money to pay a witcher that.
Yeah, a lot of the witches are rather less morally inclined than Geralt. Well, they're far more mercenary.
Yeah. I mean, it does vary according to school. Oh, if you end up with a Witcher of the Cat, then frankly, they're all but assassins for hire.
Is there a Witcher school of the Utter Bastard?
Yeah, that's Cat.
I was about to say, that sounds an awful lot like Cat.
I thought that was the Witcher school of the claims everything, is very concerned about their clothing, and goes, ow, a lot. That's mine.
No, this is more of the, the level of Cat where you're giving a belly rub and the cat decides it's had enough.
Ah, yes.
Still looks just as appealing and vulnerable, but if you go within 3 feet of it, you're losing skin.
Yeah, my cat when I was a kid was like that, but the other way around. It was when she wanted you to make a fuss of her, you would make a fuss of her, and that would be absolutely fine. But the first warning she would give that was enough would be by trying to take your hand off. Which was also her response if you stopped too soon.
Gods!
I have quite good reflexes, mainly I think thanks to that cat.
What's that cat's name?
That was Tissue.
Oh.
That was way before your time.
Yeah, no, it's right. I remembered that you had one.
Because I was knee-high to a grasshopper when we got Tissue. It was literally, I was like, tiny. And I was allowed to choose which kitten we were going to take home. And one of them sneezed, and I chose that one. And it was called Tissue because the reason I chose it is because it sneezed when we were trying to decide which kitten to take.
Bless, that's so cute.
Yeah, Fishy was ever a cute child.
Yep, once upon a time I was...
Happened once.
Yes. We have the photos to prove it.
Yeah.
11th Doctor cosplay.
Yeah, no, that's just freaky, that one. Apparently cosplays the 11th Doctor like 40 years before he became the Doctor, which is quite clever.
Okay. So, you are back at the table, and Jonas glances over at you. You alright there, sir?
Yes, thank you. I'm fine. How are you?
He grins. Do you see something not to your liking upstairs?
Unexpected, perhaps.
Ah. Sheltered life.
Very.
Rural nobles. So.
Just so.
He looks smug, and as if he's clearly got an idea as to why you are so shaken.
And I'm happy for him to take that idea and run with it as far as he likes. I will encourage him to do so.
Fair enough. And yes, you can return to your evening's chat and schmooze.
Indeed.
Hamus.
Yes.
Awareness check, please.
An awareness.
Yep.
Thing I haven't used recently. Pretty good. 18.
Right.
Fortunately, they were the wrong way round. It was the second time.
Okay. You glance up while you're mid-serving and see Tamray come back in from the staff area, looking like he has recently seen a ghost.
Okay, unfortunately, I'm really not in a position to find out why. I'm just going to have to log that for future investigation.
He returns to the table where he was drinking before, strikes up a slightly shamefaced conversation with the officers there, and drinking commences. You see decks being shuffled again, and this time the lieutenant plays him. But we won't go through in detail this time. I'll just take a gambling roll off each of them. Okay, yeah, bot love is happening.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's when the bots start talking, you know it's time to panic.
The bots reminded me to drink. Fortunately, I've got some water here.
No, sensible man.
So gambling came out at...
Bots reminding us to drink. Well, that's fine.
19.
Okay. That's probably going to be good enough. Oh yeah, that's going to be good enough when he rolls 2.
Oof.
Cool. So yes, you handily beat the lieutenant. His deck is not up to the captain. There are more gold-edged cards in the captain's deck. The gold indicates unique or extremely rares.
Mm.
And the gold is gold, as we have established by Fishy's little theft earlier.
Yes, yes.
The gold is actual gold gilt. It's only very thin, it's just a banding, but it's the principle of the thing. So, the evening will pass. Are you sticking with these guys? Or are you circulating?
I will circulate. After these guys have had a reasonable conversation, I will try and get some information if they've got anything about Baron Kelsis. Baron Kelsis? No.
Kelsis is the guy in charge, yeah.
Yeah.
He's the guy in charge
that came down from the north.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Make me.
So the initial talk around the game was aimed at sort of getting their confidence, getting to know them, and then throwing these things in the conversation.
Okay. I would like you to make me it's not really persuasion per se. It's more charisma, to be honest.
That's okay. I have both.
There's no investigation, is there? It's deduction.
There is a deduction skill.
There is a deduction skill, as we discovered.
Yeah.
Because humans get +1 at that.
Is handled through other skills rather than just I make an investigation roll.
Yeah.
But drawing conclusions and so forth would be deduction.
Make me a charisma check. Let's see if you can steer them onto that topic.
17.
Okay. You're not mucking around, are you? You gave me all the heart attacks in the bloody Gwent game. Oh, for God's sake. Yes. Okay. You can certainly get them to open up.
Mm-hmm.
And they become positively garrulous. Not about covert matters, obviously. And they're not going to be handing you the reports for the last set of troop movements.
No, I'm not after that.
No. Although you do hear that the lieutenant is quite happy because they're actually at some point headed north, which is where he's from. So he's hoping he'll be able to stop in at home, but he doesn't say where that is.
You want to change of underwear?
Well, you know how it is. When you leave, you always forget at least one thing.
Yeah.
Ooh, and he forgot his underwear. Whoops. That's going to get itchy.
Ew.
Medieval society. Just life.
Yes. Indeedy poos. Make me a deduction check.
Now I get to do deduction.
Mm-hmm.
That might actually get into double figures.
Cool.
13.
Yeah, that'll do it. Judging by the fact that he's a cavalry officer, and also adding in his accent, you would guess he's from Matina, which is actually north of here. The kingdoms kind of wind into each other. Gaso, the place you're in at the moment, although technically a kingdom of the north, a northern kingdom, is actually part of Nilfgaard still. But it gets a little bit hairy. The population are essentially northern, but Nilfgaard claims it, which is why they're not too worried about moving armies through it.
Yeah.
They're not going to be fighting any battles here. Matina is essentially plains to the north, and it's where the finest cavalry officers in the Nilfgaardian Empire are taken from in levy.
Okay. Is that just the lieutenant that's from there, or is it the Duke as well?
The lieutenant, you would say, almost certainly comes from there, judging by his reference to going home.
Yeah.
If they're headed north from here, the odds are they're either going through the mountains or they're going through Matina. So that would make sense.
Horse troops, it would be easier to go through Matina because it's practically flat land. So.
Yeah. And I will take a deduction check again. The Duke's name and accent, or the accent rather, is cleaner than his.
9.
You're not familiar with the lands, and he's got a very RP style accent. Clearly, where if he studied at the academy, he's had all traces of a regional accent really
drilled
knocked off the edge. Yeah.
Okay.
It's like trying to work out where Patrick Stewart comes from if you've only watched Star Trek.
You just have to listen. You can tell.
I
you
know.
Just have to listen to him, you can tell.
Once I found out, it was, I suppose Ben Kingsley is.
There when you're listening for it.
Yeah, I think Ben Kingsley might be a better idea, actually. Better option. Who, again, is completely RP until he starts talking in his native Yorkshire, and it's, shit. You're from up north, aren't you? Right. Yeah, this guy is no Sean Bean.
I must admit, I would have loved to see Captain Picard call someone a silly bugger. That just would have worked for me.
Oh, yes. Yes, absolutely. Right, so the night...
He was allowed to swear on primetime TV, so...
He was, yes. Apparently the Universal Translator has decency filter.
Can't do French.
Can't do French, can't do Klingon, can't do swears.
Klingon. No, it's not a Universal Translator, it's a shite translator.
Okay, so back to Hamus and whoever it is who's got the Indy 500 driving through their house.
So that was a very low cargo past my window.
Fair enough.
I got through the double glazing.
Yeah. Well, not the noise, hopefully.
Yes, not the car itself, just the noise.
Sorry, Fish. What?
Hamus then.
Hamus is going to have a similar evening to the one before. It's getting busier as the night goes on. And
makes sense.
But before midnight, he spots someone new. Not just a new face. I mean, there's people in and out. You haven't been working here long enough to get the idea.
New people, definitely.
However, he's not only not in military uniform, which a lot of the enlisteds are. He's also not in the sort of civilian fashions that the officers tend to adopt when off duty.
Okay.
He's in very precise black suit. An older man with iron grey hair.
Did he come in by black helicopter? Has he got a curly earplug?
No. He has iron grey hair. And he gets your attention because he stands in the entrance, looking around, taking the whole place in.
Yeah, he's a pretentious git.
He walks up to the bar, passing one of the barmaids, murmurs something to her, and she points at you.
That's a little worrying.
And here again we go with, I cannot do a German accent to save my life or the life of anyone I love. I don't know why. I would need to watch a lot of Allo Allo before I could even take a run up. Excuse me. His accent is very similar to Dagwood's. It's solidly Nilfgaardian.
Yeah.
Soft-spoken. I was told you could be of help.
Good evening, sir. Are you wanting a drink?
Unfortunately, no. My business does not involve drinking.
Food, then. Or is it one of the girls you're here for?
In a way. He looks a little uncomfortable. Human perception.
Okay, human perception before I take the piss. Let's see, I've got a base 7 in human perception. I'm going to throw a couple of luck points in this because I want to make this work. And that was a waste of luck.
Yeah?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh dear, how bad did you cock it up?
Huge, huge waste of luck. So let me see, this is 6, 7, plus the luck points is 9.
You're aiming for 11 at least?
9 plus the 1 is 10, minus the 5 is 5. I may have low open-ended that one.
Okay.
So do I add the 1 or do I subtract all 6?
You add the 1.
Right, so yeah,
the 1
5,
is a
then.
positive number, yes.
Yeah, 5. 1 is not a positive number.
1 is, yes. It's bigger than minus.
1 is, sorry, no, 1 is the loneliest number. They are correct about that. It is absolutely spot on.
Okay.
So, I can tell nothing about this man, or possibly I can tell the wrong things. What do you want to give me?
He doesn't seem interested in the girls. Everybody else's eyes are automatically drifting in that direction. Or, in fact, to the fellas, depending on their personal choice. But they tend to drift towards the entertainers. He isn't.
Ready.
He's focusing on you.
Not to either type of entertainer. Okay. So, right, sir. I mean, if you've not been to somewhere like this before, it's fine. The girls are very lovely. They'll talk you through everything. It's okay. There's nothing to be worried about.
Hang on. You poor bastard, a willpower check. Oh, thank God for open-ended high. So that's 15 plus his stat, and that's a total of, yes, we don't need to tell you that. He closes his eyes briefly, takes a deep breath, and his nostrils flare. My business is not personal recreation, sir.
But that's what we do here.
I know.
I've not been here long, but I figured that out pretty quick.
I would like to rent the services of some of the young ladies here for a private function.
So it is for recreation?
They will not be called upon to perform their usual activities.
I think this is all a bit above my pay grade.
He purses his lips and clearly is not wildly comfortable having this conversation. My employer wishes some decorative distractions for his guests. Women who can be polite and comely and quiet.
You want some girls to stand around and be charming.
Exactly.
Why
the belief is palpable.
Okay, well, I'm pretty sure our girls can do that, but I'm not sure whether their contracts would allow them to do it on a freelance basis. So I think you're probably going to have to talk to Captain Aylwin because he's in charge, and you'd have to arrange it with him. I just serve the drinks.
And can I speak to this Captain Elwyn?
Is Captain Aylwin here at the moment?
You're not sure. You haven't seen him this evening. He would generally be around, although the bulk of his work happens during the day. So you'd have to go and check.
Why don't you take a seat, sir, and I'll see if I can find him for you. Would you like a drink while you're waiting?
What are you serving?
Resists temptation to say, well, at the moment I'm serving you, but you're not making it easy.
He remains standing.
I'll list off some of the more expensive drinks, mainly wines, I would imagine. He doesn't look like a spirit drinker to me.
He will acquiesce to a small glass of one of the more expensive.
Okie dokie. I will pour him a small glass of said thing, but I will not charge him for it. And we'll go looking for the good captain.
Okay. So, the offices are on the corridor leading out of the main area before you hit the stairs, as we know. Because this place is bloody Clapham Junction.
Particularly bloody at the moment, unless they've cleaned it up now.
Well, depends how much blood's actually in the corridor. So,
possibly not that much. I wouldn't have thought that would have bled an awful lot because there's not a lot there to blood vessel wise.
Well, it depends how much into the neck the bone cut. There, through the chest wall wouldn't be too bad, but through the neck, if there are some fairly significant ones there. I mean, it wasn't a gusher; you'd have ended up covered.
Yeah.
But
anyway, I'm headed to the office.
What is your awareness check, Fishy?
My awareness.
In total.
Right, I have got a 12 plus the die, if that's what I'm
Okie
looking to know.
dokie. That's fine.
I also have the same unpracticed paranoia.
That's okay.
But I'd mention it, in passing.
That's all right. So that's a that. And that's a that. Okay. As you head past the first of the two doors, which you know heads to Bella's office, with the captain having the next one along, you notice a smear, a red smear on the handle. It's only small.
Yes.
But there is a red smear
Well,
on the metal.
I know somebody was bringing bandages this way, so that doesn't come as a huge shock to me.
Okay. Are you carrying on? Are you pausing, investigating, or what?
No, I am carrying on. I sent Temre to investigate that. If he didn't do his job, then that's not my problem.
Right, okay. As you step past the door, the hairs on the back of your neck that you hadn't realised had raised settle.
Okay.
You have the intense feeling you were probably being watched.
Yeah, by somebody scary and with a knife wielding.
Ninja entertainers. So, I should never have been allowed to watch the Circus of Horrors when I was a kid. Right. Acrobats, the most terrifying people in the world. This side of clowns. Clown acrobats, horror. So, yes, you can progress to the captain's office and knock on the door, I assume.
Exactly what I will do.
Okay. There is a brief pause, and then the captain opens, looking absolutely shattered. It's kicking on not long till midnight now. So he's clearly at the end of a very, very long day. There is a stack of paperwork on the desk, and also several bags of coinage. Oh, hello. And me banging my head on my pop shield.
Yeah.
Oopsie.
There's a fellow out in the bar wants to hire some of the girls for a private function.
What sort of fella?
Fellow doesn't seem very much like he wants to be here. Apparently they just want the girls to stand around and look pretty and talk to the guests.
Well?
My guess would be that it's something to do with this wake that's coming up. Unless there's another party being planned that you know of and I don't.
Oh, yes, I believe there was some sort of issue with supplying bulk wines. I'm not quite sure.
It's not bulk wines they're looking for now.
Is he still here?
Yep. I left him out front while I said I'd come and have a look for you.
Yeah, bring him through. I'll discuss the matter with him.
Right, yeah, then.
Right. He looks slightly stressed and begins tying up the bags of coinage.
I would like to use, I'm assuming awareness. I don't think there is a different skill to very quickly and surreptitiously case this office as best I can.
Okay. Roll it.
So, 14. I think the information I'm going to get is largely, there are some big bags of coin there if you want to grab them.
There are some big bags of coinage. There is also a large strongbox with a padded top. You can tell it's a strongbox by the quality of the lock on the front.
That's more the kind of thing that I was thinking.
He's currently using it as a seat because that's what it is.
Right.
The upholstered top provides a reasonable, comfortable place to sit, but the lock indicates it is a fairly significant piece of hardware. There are also boxes, neat, well made but not flash, on shelves racked behind the desk. One of them stands open, the lid displaced.
I think I've got what I was hoping for there, which is roughly where do I think he hides his money.
Yeah, there's no hiding involved here. This is payroll. This is, it lives in a very, very strong box.
Yeah, but sometimes the very, very strong box is hidden.
Yeah.
So, I know it isn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will head back to the fellow in the bar.
Okay. He's had about half of his very small glass of wine and is determinedly staring at the walls, the wall hangings. He doesn't look perturbed anymore, but he has a very expressionless mask.
The captain will see you now. If you care to step this way, and I will indicate the door out towards the offices.
Excellent, sir. Thank you. He appears to have recovered his aplomb.
Good, because it's nasty when you lost that. Especially if you tread on it.
I take it you're escorting him out.
Well, yeah, but I'm indicating where he should go and letting him get up and go first, because I want to see whether or not he leaves the drink behind.
Yes, he does.
Right, in that case, behind his back, I'm going to down the rest of it, and then captain.
Okay, yes. You can do that. Lead him through, knock, and he will head in.
Right, and then I will kind of lurk around a little bit and listen.
Okay.
Surreptitiously, obviously.
Yep.
Of course.
Right then, make me... It's going to be awareness again, isn't it?
It's going to be awareness.
It's going to, however, be awareness and... Where is stealth? Oh, there's stealth. Actually, what is your stealth?
Stealth. My stealth, including my dexterity, is 12.
Okay. You make an awareness check and I'll make a stealth check.
Gee, thanks.
That's fine.
Oh dear.
I think the stealth is going to be better than the awareness. 15 on awareness.
15 on awareness, was that?
Yeah.
That's pretty good. That is pretty good.
Not when
Okay.
you've got a base 12 awareness.
No, but the actual final number is okay. Okay. You can hear a conversation going on through the door. And you hear the level tones of the man you've just led in. They're both speaking Nilfgaardian.
I do have. Let's see. Nilfgaardian is Elder or Common?
It is Elder speech.
I have +8
So
in Elder speech,
you
although
do?
I actually speak. It would be less than that
Yeah.
because I actually speak Skelliger with touches of Elvish.
Yes, which is
So my
Elder speech.
my Nilfgaardian is probably the least of my Elder abilities.
Your speech is language.
Before applying whatever penalties for the wrong type of Elder speech, I
Only
got...
-2.
You sure it's only -2? Okay,
It's -2. You treat
-2,
your
I've got
speech.
12 at that as well.
Yeah, you treat
Plus
your
whatever,
speech.
if you want me to make a die roll.
Yeah.
Or is 12 just going to be good enough?
12 will be good enough. A die roll to add to that will allow you to get any inflections and pick up tone better. You can get the language, you can get the words as is.
I am a master of linguistics. 20.
You are a cunning linguist, are you?
Yes, Hamus is a most cunning linguist indeed.
Basically, it says here you can treat your points in Elder speech as 2 points lower when dealing with a different dialect. So, the 20, you get uncomfortableness from the gentleman you led in.
Well, that's no shock.
No. But professional. And he is booking a total of 4 young ladies.
What I was hoping for was that he would open the conversation with who he was booking them on behalf of.
He does indeed.
He
rattles off a long name in northern linguistics, but the first word you get is Delgrin.
Delgrin, yeah, that's what I thought.
He says that he's acting as an agent on behalf of his master, who's desirous of decorative female company for his event 2 nights hence.
So yes, this is going to be interesting indeed, because there is a possibility that Dagwood and Tamray may both have to be at this wake at the same time. That could be fun. I'm glad that's not my problem.
Why would possibly Dagwood need to be there? It was Tamray that visited in the first instance.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, it was, wasn't it? So yeah, you're all right.
Yeah, okay, you only have to be one person there.
Yeah.
Sentences you will only hear during role-playing sessions. You hope.
I'm glad you finished it off with the you hope.
You hope, yeah.
You've got a different problem instead. Your different problem is that you may need to find a different valet.
Or just find a reason not to have one.
Or just find a reason that why your valet didn't come, yeah.
Yes. He leads off into basically the services that they will be required to perform.
Yeah, if this is all just as it seems to be, then I'll head back to the bar and get on with my work.
Yes.
I just wanted to confirm the name and make sure that it wasn't actually a cover and he was really trying to talk about something totally different.
No. It seems to be fairly straight.
Well, yes, I did get the impression he was fairly straight. In the old sense of the word rather than the more modern sense.
Okie dokie. Oh, he is. Poor Samuel is not the sort you send to a brothel necessarily.
He's not a cool cat.
He's not a cool cat.
Really not. Yeah, I thought it was Samuel earlier on.
It was, yes. It's Samuel who is completely in control of his environment under normal circumstances.
When it is his environment.
Yes, this isn't his environment. Plus, he has lived in the north a long time, and this is an invading army. So, there may be a pissed invading army at the moment that's mostly interested in getting its leg over.
I don't like to be a party pooper, but I just thought I would query whether either of you have noticed it's 10:15.
I have now.
Right, I am going to take this up then to my finishing point where I knew I was going to end.
Cool.
So I think we'll be done by 50:30 if that's okay.
Yep, that's cool.
Yep.
Okay.
I mean, I don't have to work until the afternoon tomorrow, so I'm okay. I was just
No,
night.
it's night. I'm thinking.
Yeah, I've got to be up crazy early.
No, it's okay. I will I can move to wrap up. So, let's go to die rolls then, for your activities for the rest of the evening. Tamray was schmoozing, if I recall correctly.
Yes, indeed.
Sorry? There needs to be a schmoozing skill.
There needs to be a schmoozing skill.
Yeah.
I'll tweet that to Artel Sorian. Please add a schmoozing skill to 1.3.
Yeah.
Well, possibly given the Witcher setting, schmoozing wouldn't necessarily be the word for it, but...
Oh, it happens in the games. It's other people doing it around him.
Yeah, wouldn't it be carousing, perhaps?
Not necessarily the same as schmoozing.
That is, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I would like you to make me, because you're circulating around the rest of the crowd, make me a streetwise and a social etiquette.
A streetwise and a social etiquette.
A streetwise and a social etiquette, please, yes.
Okay.
Please and thank you.
I will put my last 2 luck into the social etiquette.
Mm-hmm.
Just as well I did that.
Mm-hmm.
13.
Ooh. Yes.
And the streetwise.
Mm-hmm.
20.
Yikes. Okay. Between those 2 rolls, you thread your way, metaphorically speaking, between the might have useful information and are too pissed to be of use to you. And might want to kick off.
Yep.
And as of the evening, you are able to both earwig and play a few games that give you information that pretty much backs up things you have heard. You encounter one guy who has a lot to say about Kelsis, however.
Ooh.
Or more specifically, the way he runs his men. Which is that most of the guards from Kelsis's watch, and you can almost hear the air quotes, are banned from the privates because they were caught attempting to coerce some of the ladies to do some extracurricular activity. And when one got a little too handsy and the lady in question slapped him, he broke her cheek.
So this is one of Kelsis' guards that broke her cheek,
Yes.
or Kelsis that broke her cheek?
No, one of Kelsis's watch.
Right. Yeah.
He does remember what the guy looks like. And after another couple of drinks, which if you want to spend 15 crowns...
How many crowns have I got left? Hang on.
It's 15 crowns worth of drinks for the information.
Yep. We'll do that.
It's basically 3 decent drinks.
Yep.
The description he gives matches the chap who interviewed you for the watch, Guy de Versnack.
Guy to what's the first?
Versnack. Versnak.
Cool, got it.
So it looks like the head of the watch was behaving in a distinctly ungentlemanly manner.
Oh dear.
So, and you can therefore make some inferences about what the leadership next level above him, being Kelsis,
is in favour
of. It would certainly lead some credence to the way that Kelsis was apparently renowned for treating young ladies. Before he left.
Indeed.
Okay.
And does back up to a little bit why he was cagey around mentioning and talking about the Privates Club when I interviewed.
He was.
Now I know.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's the information you get.
Thank you.
From this evening. Fishy, would you like to make me a sleight of hand if you're going to attempt to rip people off horribly from their hard-earned winnings?
Which of course I am.
Yes. I will take 3 rolls for the rest of the evening.
Roll number 1 is 16.
Okay.
Roll number 2 is 18.
Okay.
Oh, for the love of Pete. Roll number 3 is caught.
Oh. It's the last one of the evening. How badly did you roll?
Right. Well, I'll roll the 3rd die to find out.
Uh-huh.
3rd.
Because so far, that's 3 less this one.
Oh.
-1.
Okay.
I have got a total sleight of hand skill on this check of -1.
Right.
Yikes.
So, would you like to note down that...
Bye, guys! I'll be creating a new character for next week. Tune in for that exciting stream.
Okay. Well, the good news is you got 34 crowns from your first 2 rolls.
Yeah. Not that I'm going to be able to spend them on the guillotine.
The 3rd one, however, you spot an apparently unaccompanied little stack of crowns.
I like Mecky's suggestion. Drop all the glasses and the bottles and the shelves they were in, then the house collapses.
And catches fire. Never underestimate the power of somewhere catching fire. And as you are reaching out to clear the glass next to it and palm the coins with the same movements as you have previously done on shift,
Yeah.
you realise that the guy across the table is looking straight at you as your hands close on the coins.
Are these yours?
Let's give him an awareness check. -1, you say?
-1, yes.
So he has to beat your -1 sleight of hand in order to figure out that you were stealing
He's obviously seen what I'm doing.
No, he's seen what you're doing.
question
It's
about
whether
that.
he twigs. It's actually a human perception. It's basically
That's a different thing altogether. The human perception is empathy, not awareness. So that would be deceit against human perception. That would give me a new role. Because now I'm bluffing him. That's a new role. That's not sleight of hand.
Oh.
I mean, you can give me a penalty on my deception, on my deceit if you want,
Yes.
because it's the result of a fumble on my sleight of hand. But I still get the fumble. The bluff roll.
Okay, I would like you
I'm
to
blowing
roll
5
me...
luck on this.
I
what
would
I've
like
mentioned.
you to roll me a deceit check
Yep. Okay.
at
Deceit.
-4.
Okay. So
That's
deceit
yeah,
is 10
-4.
plus 5 luck minus 4 is 11 plus 4. 16.
Okay.
All my luck comes.
What the hell have you been serving this evening? So his interior die is 10. So that's -13 to his roll.
So I didn't really need the 5 luck.
A 1, a 10, and a 4.
Wow.
If you're going to do a thing.
That's almost as good as the roll that got me here.
Yeah, so that is -13 to his 12 total.
Exactly as good as the roll that got me
It
here.
is exactly as good as the roll that got you here.
-13 is what takes me to the -1 on my sleight of hand check.
His eyebrows, which were descending in anger, and you saw his fists starting to close in anticipation of finishing his evening with a nice healthy fist fight, raise in puzzlement, and he goes, "Oh yeah,
Yeah, because I thought that's no way that's way too big for a tip. Somebody's left that by accident.
Oh, yeah, no.
I'll push it across the table towards him, but I'm going to make an additional sleight of hand at this point and try and keep that on. Because even though I've run out of luck, I'm still going to push it.
This is why you don't play push your luck games with Fish. It's too easy to win.
This is why you don't play. Well, this is why you do play push your luck games with Fishy, because he always pushes his luck and you win.
Okay, roll it.
Okay. 18.
18. Well, that knocks his 15.
That's what my sleight of hand is supposed to do.
Yeah, you see, that knocks his 15 into touch.
Yeah. He gets
Nicely
most
done.
of it, but...
He gets
if I
most
get
of
an
it.
extra coin.
Yes, yes, indeed, you
The
do.
principle of the thing.
I believe you did that. Mind you, that was an astoundingly bad roll on his part.
Yes.
That really was.
It was also an astounding bad roll on Fish's
I
part.
know!
Well, no, that was a fairly standard Fishy bad roll, really. I mean,
Okay, so, with your heart pounding in your ears, you decide to call it for the night on the thievery.
oh, yeah, I'm playing it safe from here onwards, but I still just had to push that last one.
And the both of you can retire. You were offered a bed, Tamray.
Mm-hmm.
So you can indeed locate a spare room with cot.
Excellent.
It's actually the one that was previously in use by Errol the Entertainer, who has not returned.
This does not surprise me.
And you can head up to your 2-bedroom with the maid, Fish, who has her own. So, and you can
I got
spend
35.
5. Yep, in total. You only just nicked that one to get a nice multiply by 5
No,
number.
I told you, it's the principle of the
Divide
thing.
by 5. Bastard. Okay. So, you sleep the sleep of the knackered all night. Hamish goes to bed later, obviously, because you work until nearly
Sleep
dawn.
of the blindingly lucky.
And are awoken far too early for your liking by Merian.
Oh, I'm awoken by Mary, or he is.
No, he is.
This is not a place I expect to see you.
She is tear-streaked, and there are smears of blood on her dress.
Okay,
she's
that
out
wakes
of
me up
breath.
pretty quick.
Something horrible has happened, and I don't know who else to talk to or to tell. And Tilda's injured, and you can tell from the dilated pupils, her whole demeanour, she's barely holding it together.
Okay, give me 2 seconds. Grab a shirt.
Mm-hmm.
Grab my axe.
Okay, grab your
Grab my
trousers.
boots. Well, he's already wearing trousers.
Oh, just
He's in
checking.
a shared room.
Yeah, good point.
Push her towards the door, boots still in hand, not on feet. Lead on, where are we going?
Town. There's just, it's disgusting. It's horrible and it's disgusting. And she keeps basically repeating that.
Okay,
Now-
I'm going to be basically hopping along, trying to put my
Okay.
boots on as we head out towards town.
Tamray, awareness,
Hopefully,
please.
I'll put my boots on before we
You
get,
get
out
outside,
of the
yeah.
smooth wooden surfaces and onto the nasty stony ground.
Yeah. One of the maids is cleaning.
15.
Yeah. Okay, that's good enough. You hear loud talking and a repeating hopping thud
Doink, doink.
along on the floorboards outside your door. And you hear what you are reasonably sure is Merian. Back in the bar, one of the maids, that your roommate, looks up. She came in hysterical asking for you. Sorry, I sent her up.
Not a problem.
Do I hear that as well? Both parts of the exchange.
If you've opened your door, yes. If not, then no.
Certainly would have opened it at least a crack to listen.
Okay. Yes, you can hear that because she yells it from across the bar.
Hurriedly get dressed.
Okay. Yep. So, Merian, in reasonably light slippers, all but drags you by the hand
Yeah.
out onto the road. Past the guards.
Depending on how quickly I can dress, I will kind of give chase and follow the parted crowds. Or people just going, what the hell just happened? In the general direction that they went.
Okay. It's very
Where are we going? What's happened? Who did it happen to? How's Tilda? You said she was injured.
It bit her. Well, something bit her. It was all the blood attracted it. And it bit her, and then I think it went back, and it went back into the river. It came into the house through the back door where we were doing the laundry, and it bit her, and then it was chewing, and there was blood, and she was screaming, but I think she's okay.
Drown her in the bloody house.
It was. I threw things at it, and so did she, and it went back into the river, but it was chewing a leg, and it was just...
Okay, you said the blood attracted it. What blood?
There's blood all over town. The whole square, it's covered in blood. And there's intestines, and fur. And then there's writing. And somebody did this.
Okay, I'm going to step round in front of her and stop her movement, hand on each shoulder.
Okay.
Take a deep breath. Calm down. Trust me for a moment. And I need you to keep very quiet about this. Dashes off into the bushes, comes back with his daggers. His throwing daggers that he had hidden. Not taking her to the hidey place, but she knows it's there now.
I've just seen Mecky.
Yeah. And he will be shoving throwing knives under his tunic as he returns from the bushes. Like, lay on, Macduff.
Right. If you're running, then you're going to be catching up with them. They are walking. She's not running. She's very much... Hamus will be able to see. She's very much in her indoor shoes. These are not the sturdy boots she wears even to go out to the market. This is what she tends to wear around the house. Yes. It'll be not long after you've pulled the daggers. And you're sorting them out.
Can I make a quick awareness check to see whether there's anyone else around?
Yes.
That's a 19.
Okay. There's apparently nobody else on the road at this hour. It's not that long after dawn. You've only been asleep a couple of hours.
You change your bloody clothes. I need a backup.
Sorry, what?
Things are happening in town. I need you, and I need you to be you, not you.
Merian is acting a little bit like Lassie. She's marching off a few feet, turning round, coming back, and walking away again, looking at you in all but little Timmy's fallen down the well.
If there's
bring a pack, because you're going to want to look into this.
You're going now. Let's go.
Okay. Marching back to town, and Tamray, yes, can get changed, and Dagrid can...
No, not going to.
No?
Staying as Tamray.
Okay.
Primary reason being, if something's kicked off, which it sounds like it has, and there's fighting going on, Tamray's clothing is armoured.
That's a good reason.
That's as good a reason.
Tamray's going to want to investigate this, because that's his job, not Dagrid's.
Yeah.
But Hamus is thinking in terms of Tamray's not there to back him up, Dagrid is. So he wants Dagrid there, not Tamray. But he's not going to argue, he's just going to go.
Right. As you head into the marketplace, the centre of the village, a large village, small town. She wasn't kidding. There are people standing outside their homes looking scared and shocked and generally horrified. The market has not been set up as it is normally every day. Strings of intestines, judging by the stench, have been laid out in a strange star-like pattern. And at the centre of it are 3 severed dog heads, tongues lolling out. Written on the doors of several of the houses, including the smoking horse, are symbols you do not recognise. And that's either of you don't recognise them.
Neither of us has any magic knowledge.
Chunks of the outer housing of dogs, so limbs, rib cage, have literally been strewn across the whole of the marketplace, down as far that you can see as the tailors. They have no mark on their door, but there is a rib cage dumped in the street outside and smears of blood on their doorstep.
Whilst I have no way of understanding what's been written on the doors, in my youth I did have a friend who was a mage who had some great influence on me. Do I at least recognise them as being of something he might have seen or done?
Right. I will give you, with that, I will give you a roll on hex weaving.
Holy crap.
It's unskilled.
And I'm out of luck.
It's an unskilled will. And you wouldn't get it if you didn't have that background option.
I hate to sound like I'm copying.
You knew a witch.
But I knew a witch. My greatest friend as a child was a witch. I was wondering if there was anything at all familiar here that...
Again, I'm going to give you the same roll.
Untrained hex weaving?
Yeah. Because to you, more than to Dagrid, there is something familiar here.
Yeah, I thought this sounded more witchy than sorcerer.
Yeah. I got a 10 in total.
Okay.
My will is 6. I got a 9.
Okay. Yours was actually slightly easier. Let me check. Neither of them are going
1 point. We both failed.
Yeah, neither of them are going to actually give you, chapter and verse.
Yeah.
However, let me just check the levels. Okay. So, both of you recognise that these are symbols of magic. It's not merely bad graffiti. You can't make sense of them. Dagrid. You don't know their specific meanings, Hamus, but you know their intent.
Oh, yeah.
This is something from a curse. This is a deliberate curse.
Yeah.
What it's intended to achieve, you don't have the knowledge to understand.
Is there a chance that for next week we can have at least a sketch map of the marketplace with the key points?
You can indeed.
We can actually look over it and try and ascertain for ourselves whether they might give us clues.
Yep, absolutely.
I have a bad feeling about this.
You and me both.
Okay.
So, after taking a moment to look at all of this and swear under his breath, Hamus's next thought is to immediately go
and check on Tilda. Okay.
So I think that logically is where we are ending this, is with us rushing to
Yep,
check
the
on
door
Tilda.
is flung open, and Tilda is sitting on the customer couch, and has blood pooling at her neck and running down her arm.
We have come to aid her with our no first aid skills.
Yep.
We're exactly the right people to do this. Do you know why we're the right people to do this? Because this is a cliffhanger, and next week I'll have my 9 luck back.
You do see, however, the door, it does have a catch, has clearly been forced.
Yeah.
Before you got there. Right.
There is some definite interaction between the sewage and ventilation systems here.
Okay. So,
you may not be aware of it, Drat normally runs horror games.
well, if they weren't aware of it,
Yeah.
I'd have...
I thought I'd mention it because nothing in the game has clued you into that at all, so you might not know.
The gruesome description of the injury earlier and
The gruesome things.
Well, on the upside, there's less stray dogs to annoy people at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, we will leave it there. This is actually timing out fairly nicely. So, next week, I will be back by next week. And we will be playing on the 16th. And if my timing is correct, we will either finish next week or more likely at the 23rd, if that is acceptable to people.
Okay.
So, tune in next week to find out whether anyone can roll lower than -1.
Gosh. I just can't believe I then matched it.
Yeah, no, that was impressive.
Yeah, match.com. So, to those watching on VOD, this is your lot. I hope you've enjoyed it, and we will be back next week. So I'll be uploading that session as soon as I've finished.
Do like, comment, tell your friends, all that kind of business.
If you like it, then please subscribe. Always nice. It's always nice to get feedback. What people like, what people don't like, what they're interested in the game. But yeah, feel free to do that.
And likewise, if this is a kind of game that you've been interested in but haven't found anyone to play with, come join us. We're always on the lookout for new players.
There are not 3 of us by choice. There are 3 of us because there are only 3 of us.
Yes. Okay. So for Twitch, thank you for watching. We do appreciate it. I always appreciate it. And it's lovely to see you all. I hope you've enjoyed it. Again, as Rob said, if you have any if you have any desire to get into gaming, whether to play with us or if you're thinking of starting your own game, then feel free to get in touch.
Drop us a line.
Yep.
We do have a Discord where you can come and chat to us about this game, video games, your GMing advice or new player advice or whatever. We're friendly people. We will just talk to you about whatever you want to talk about.
Yeah. Try getting us not to talk about games.
That's the tricky part.
Yeah. So, thank you very much. And that's my lot for the night. And I will bid you a good evening.
Indeed. Thank you very much. Good night.